was pretty impressive. So yeah, all to the good. Right. So anything else we need to get out of the way before we begin?
I believe a quick recap would be beneficial as always, just to make sure everyone's
Very well.
got back into the groove of stuff.
Okay. So can anybody remember what happened last session?
No, not really.
Where did we leave off last session?
Space Marine blood and how it clots.
Where did we leave off last session? What was the last thing we did? I know we were going to be heading towards the what the fuck do you call it? The Patriarch and the Elders.
Borellis High Council.
Borellis High Council.
In the Sanctum, basically the Sanctum Indomitable. It's the core of the Spire. It's a reinforced readout for the family in times of war and other conflicts. It's built on very old technology. What I'm saying is, it's the reason they survived the chemical strike.
I remember we got jumped by gene stealers after
That's
fighting some
right.
hybrids. We collapsed through, we got our ship back together, patched up our armor as best we could, and we went to the data terminal. When we got to the data terminal, we were in touch with the secondary squad.
That's right. You found out that the Inquisitor had already been implanted, basically. However, the Apothecary is attempting to remove the organ before it can affect any permanent change. Although the orders are to terminate, basically, on what's name, he believes he can save her because of if it's removed before it becomes permanent, the subject can be saved. So it's basically, he's conducting surgery on a human using an arthesium at the moment.
His chances of survival are very slim, I imagine.
It's a by the rules, it's a Medicaid test at -30.
So focusing on the actual story side of it from our perspective and what we're aware of, what are the chances of this implantation taking effect and him not coming through? In fact, no, I should probably more acutely ask, what are the chances of him turning and attacking those that are working on him right now?
The Inquisitor's female. When the organ takes effect, the change is not immediate. It takes a little while, but the chances of her being influenced by the hive man would grow stronger over time. If the gene taint's taken hold, that it basically, if it's taken hold, you'll see.
You need a bolt to the head.
And why exactly do they need her alive again? What was the exact use of her life?
She's a Inquisitor, so they are making the attempt.
Is it just because she's an Inquisitor, or does she have any information they need from her?
She's the overall authority in charge of the operation on Octavian 4.
Why commands?
She's the one that you have tangentially been working for. Well, actually directly been working for, but not in a personal capacity.
And we made the wider Inquisition know that she'd been injured by gene stealers when we made contact?
No, not yet. It's strictly between the upper echelons at the moment.
So we just found out when we were in contact with her, right?
Effectively. But you know the Inquisitor's methods, and if it turns out that the organ can't be removed, if she remains lucid enough to order it, she'll order them to kill her anyway. She's an extremely hard woman.
But if she isn't, she's in the overall command. That puts the entire operation at risk. Should we not have maybe advised that her command be revoked until we can be sure that she's safe of the?
Did you not listen to what command?
It's not a command. At this point, this is the final stanza of the opera, if you know what I mean. At this point, the dominoes have been flicked, and what will happen will happen. She's not in. She is. What's the phrase I'm trying to think of here? She's not on the field giving direct orders at this point. It's all about all the intrigue, all the plots. That's everything that you've been working towards. This has now come to the fruition.
Yeah, this is the effect of the cause of evil.
Yeah. However, her loss would be a blow for the Inquisition. So they are the apothecary is putting his considerable skills to the test to try and save her.
I would imagine I imagine that I'm under the assumption that she's dead. Well, hopefully she'll pull through. But yeah.
Well, at this point, actually, it would, and she would agree entirely. Treat her as though she is dead until it is confirmed that she is alive. Furthermore, she would expect that her death would not overly affect the efficiency of the operation. She is, after all, merely a servant of the God Emperor, as are you all. And one man, woman, or otherwise his life, cyborg, servitor, servo skull, whatever. In the grander scheme of things, it will not be missed, no matter how high one climbs.
So where are we right now? At the data terminal. Where is that in relation to our known surroundings that we're aware of at the moment?
The data terminal's about halfway up the main trunk of the spire. It's a couple of miles. Sorry, not miles. It's about a mile's climb at this point to reach the sanctum. However, because of what was it? Havel rolled, wasn't it? Something like, was it Chaplain? Who's your tech marine?
Tech Marine.
I'm sick.
I rolled a 2 or something.
Yeah, because of Fontus's roll, which was pretty ridiculous. You've basically managed to pull out of the decaying morass of the spire's noosphere, its data network, enough. Excuse me, that was a lot of gas. Enough of a binary clout to greatly ease your passage up the spire. You know, first of all, you've been able to re-establish communications with the Angelus Tenebrae. You also know the rough disposition of the house's current forces and their current position. You know that the forces in the city themselves, the house forces holding the redoubt lower down the spire, are being heavily pressed by loyalists, and it doesn't look like they're going to be a factor. You know the location of the sanctum, and you know the codes to get you through the main security systems, some of which are quite nasty. So, yes, at this point, the operation is going about as well as could be expected, and you have a direct path to the sanctum to follow, although you do know that the last of the spire's upper reach defenses are currently basically congregating in an attempt to protect the sanctum, in the hope that a transport will be able to evacuate the sort of the brood heads off-world. Sorry, was that too much nattering?
No.
Does that all make a kind of sense?
Hi.
Have I made like a Hollywood-sized plot error here somewhere?
No, I'm quite surprised that I had to come back through from the kitchen window in my smoking expedition to say that yes, that made perfect sense. But I'm not so sure about everyone else now because the lack of response.
Affirmative.
I feel
Anyone
like
spotting a gaping plot hole, please let me know.
Did
We're
anyone
not gonna-
misunderstand it? Sorry, did anyone not understand it?
we're not gonna bring up that big ass life form we found in there.
Oh, the Broodlord.
Yeah, he's just kind of in there. We
Brood-
saw it.
There's a chain. Do you remember? There's a space within the sanctum where there is no noospheric signature.
Yeah, so we haven't really found it. We just have an idea where it would be, but
Where it would
place
be,
that
yeah.
there's no sort of observation.
It's
not that we know
there
where it
is
is,
an
it's not
area
where it
of
isn't.
data death, which is profoundly unnatural in a hive city, certainly in the upper spires. To a tech marine, that lack of data stands out like a void in the constant stream of data. God, it's gone quiet again.
We also know where that free dreadnought thing is, right?
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
you know for a fact that there's a couple of the Golgrex Ore use your words, Jamie. The Golgrex Ore automata, battle automata, are present in the defense of the inner sanctum.
Can we shut them down from this data terminal at all?
No. Like most servitors, they're hard coded for what they do. They're not actually linked to like a central server.
Can we fry them? I guess they're not linked, we can fry them either.
You mean fry them remotely? You do have a multi-melter.
I'm thinking more like overload or EMP pulse or EMP pulse.
Well, that fucked us up too.
Not really. You do know, however, I believe Fontis identified the weak point in the structure.
Yeah, beside the chest mask.
Yeah, if you hit that at the right angle, it crumples the armor plating surrounding the life support system. One of the reasons that the Golgrex Ore wasn't used in a more wide military capacity by the Octavian IV's militarum forces is because of that flaw in its design. Although it was identified as a flaw in the design and caused a schism and a few other problems amongst the tech priesthood when it was identified, the Golgrex Ore that still existed were retained in service, mainly amongst the nobility. Many of them now are very, very old. However, they're still fully functional.
Mayhaps I'm asking too direct. Do we know the location of these things due to the data terminal?
What, the Golgrex?
The dreadnought type.
Yeah, the Golgrex. Yes, you do. You know for a fact that at the moment, 2 of them are stationed outside the entrance to the inner sanctum, along with 2 detachments of the house's elite guard. That's what your interface with the console and basically hacking into the VoxNet has revealed.
So can we plan a path accordingly to avoid them?
Up to that point, yes. With the chaos of the chemical attack and the information from the terminal, you are basically now... At the moment, you're like a virus in a body, and the body is desperately trying to kill you. So far, it's failed, and it's losing resources trying to kill you. You've accounted for how many gene stealers up to this point?
Not many.
You've accounted for 5 in the previous fight.
Oh, so far in the entire thing, yes. 10 total.
10 in total.
Not including hybrids of any kind.
You've accounted for a lot of hybrids.
Actually, would there have been any gene stealers on that ship we blew up in the ocean?
Yes.
If there was any on there, then we've taken out more. We've taken out a potential unknown number, but for those we've actually confirmed killed, 10.
Well, confirmed kills is 10. The ones on that sub you sunk, by the way, were hybrids. The Inquisition itself, do you remember in the background for the mission I said that one of the previous operations involved basically burning a corrupted janitor temple? That was one of their main spawning chambers. Coupled with the various operations of the Inquisition, at the moment the hives, or rather the brood stock of actual pure strains is perilously low. Which is impartial to account. First of all, it's hard to account true desperation to something as alien and implacable as a gene stealer brood. But at this point, tactically speaking, you know they cannot sustain the losses that you've been inflicting on the pure strains. They are very likely running low unless some mistake has been made somewhere. And Inquisitor Abtaris, you'd be surprised if she's made a mistake at this point.
Well, brothers, cousins, I put the question to you. We can either try to avoid the tactical armor dreadnought and the regiments and go straight for the Patriarch and then clean up everything afterwards, or we can just go through everything. It really depends how assured we are this Patriarch will be manageable. And we should maybe too good to tell the watch captain that we may have unleashed hundreds of gene stealers into that ocean that we retreated from. They may want to check that maybe they didn't all get destroyed.
Either already knows or doesn't care, brother.
This is true.
This entire planet's biosphere is infected. I think there's little that we can do for it, other than try to recover the resources that this planet offers intact.
Remember how heavily modified those gene stealers were to operate in the ocean. They were specialist. Yeah, they're a specialist strain. There won't be many of them. In fact, from what the Inquisition have discovered in the aftermath, it's very likely that you killed their entire stock.
Well, Fontes, you know this place now better than us all. What do you feel? Should we go through everything, or should we try and make a short route to the Patriarch? And that goes for everyone.
I suggest we take out the Patriarch first, because, as we all know, once a Tyranid loses its connection to the hive, they tend to go feral and are easier to take out.
I worry with these hybrids.
The hybrids will only be marginally more functional than an average brood type.
The hybrids will be nothing. They are nothing now, though.
In order to get to the Patriarch, well, at the moment, the data records that you have for the map of the Citadel is 30 years old, so it's extremely recent by Imperial standards. Now, there may be weak points in the system that you could use to infiltrate using melter charges and other methods, basically bypassing the bulk of the defenses up top, but it would be a gamble. It is, however, possibly not impossible. That's a terrible phrase. You know what I mean.
It's probable?
Probable, thank you.
How many melter charges do we have?
I have one remaining.
I've got 92 rounds left in my backpack.
Ah, that's not bad.
How about melta charges, so bombs?
No, that's for my multi-melter, but I guess we can overload those too.
We're doing a count of the charges.
And we do also have bulkhead cutters with us, due to the Technory.
Yeah.
Wherever we choose to go, we should be able to go there. So, it's all about coming up with the correct plan. I mean, if the path to get past the tactical... Is it a tactical dreadnought? Would that be the right wording for it? If the path to get past that takes us quite close to it, if we see an opportunity to take it out by surprise, perhaps, if we can get near it without us noticing, we could maybe take that. And then if it doesn't show up, we can maybe just continue on our way straight to the Patriarch and clean up everything else after.
The way to think of the Gullgrex is a budget dreadnought. Almost. It's
a battle servitor.
Yeah, it's a battle servitor. It's an oversized battle servitor, controlled by 6 brains operating in a gestalt. Each brain responsible for a different part of the machine's function.
One could argue that the same thing could be said for a Land Raider.
Yeah, effectively, except that instead of the bottomized brains operating as the cogitators, Land Raiders operate with often ancient machine spirits.
It has one brain. Every Land Raider has a single brain implanted into the inside.
Oh, an actual organic brain.
Yeah, an actual organic brain, but I don't know how much it's been altered. Like, you know, for servitor brains, you get real lobotomized brains. I'm not sure how much, and that's what they say it's for the machine spirit.
And yeah, that's basically what a servitor is. It's if you look at it in a doctrinal manner, it's kind of you wipe the mind and purify it in the manner of a machine. The reason the Imperium uses servitors instead of AIs is because AI, or abominable intelligence, is amongst the very greatest of tech heresies. And that was on the personal order of the Emperor himself when he walked as a man, because during his conquest of Terra, during the Age of Strife, he fought artificial intelligences, the Iron Men as they were known, and the Emperor decreed that no more would be made after the horrors that he saw firsthand and he saw unleashed by these machines. His instructions became holy writ amongst the Mechanicus, which is why the Imperium uses servitors and organic components and cyborgs instead of actual artificial intelligences.
I think the saying goes, creating AI is like the sort of devilish priest who stands in a pentagram with a bottle of blessed water and a crucifix about to summon a demon, convinced that he can control it with those tools.
Yeah. And the Mechanicus has burned worlds for the crime of even dabbling with the Silica Animus. It's not a question of, oh, it's terrible, we have to destroy it. The Iron Men were a terrible threat, and they end worlds, and yeah, it's not tolerated. And Saint pretty much hit on the head.
They were almost the extinction of man.
Yeah, they were almost the extinction of man, which is, and the Emperor saw that firsthand.
Wasn't there also one that was inside a Titan?
No, there was a Titan that had an artificial intelligence. Was it being run by artificial intelligence? He was like an artificial intelligence Titan who was also like he was like the template for Titans, he claimed, something like that.
Well, the remains of artificial intelligences and the separate pieces of scrap code which once composed them, along with weaponized viruses and mimetic weapons of mass destruction and all sorts, still infest Imperial data networks, Imperial noospheres. That's what's meant by scrap code, and it's one of the Mechanicus' banes. It's also the pride of the Rise of Forge world. Their Skitarii take special pride in pointing out that many of their functions and implants are very much free of scrap code. But you don't, in the Imperium, you don't just live in the ruins of singularity in the physical sense every day. Those ruins extend to the data networks as well, and there's stuff in there you just don't want to fuck with because it will just end life or worse.
Oh yeah, it's like as an archaeologist would find an unknown tomb, it's like Indiana Jones style with traps. The same thing is represented in the digital world of the 40k. You can uncover some old, antique semi-AI technology or code somewhere deep within another code and accidentally unleash it unknowingly. That's why code and new code and or treasure are sort of approached so carefully by Mechanicum, and why standard template construct, was it STCs? Yeah. STCs, and why STCs are so treasured, because that's their confirmation of exactly how to use it without disturbing any unwanted code.
STCs are pure, they are uncorrupted, they are unsullied, they are base template. In short, they are holy writ. They're like individual holy grails.
A roadmap. It's like having a map how to get through a set of traps. And you don't know what these traps are. The map doesn't tell you what the traps are, it just tells you how to get to the treasure and back out without triggering anything. So it's like without causing corrupt code to infect your systems or anything.
Sorry for the tangent, by the way. This is mainly for the Tech Marines' benefit. It's like sort of 40k Mechanicum 101. But yeah, there's all sorts of really, really nasty stuff out there. And at the moment, a lot of that stuff, or the destruction it can cause, is what's going on in this house's noosphere. Because of the attack it's under, the whole digital realm, if you will, the whole binary realm of the Bruelis Spire is collapsing into scrap code. Now, that plays to your advantage because in addition to the chemical strike, which has claimed a good portion of the unprotected Spire's inhabitants, the assault by the Sodexis Enclave and their allies is destroying the Spire's ability to counter you in the mechanical realm. However, it's also causing malfunctions, which means your passage through the Spire is going to be contested as much by malfunctioning systems as it is by defenses. However, this was anticipated for. This is not a surprise.
The malfunctioning systems, what sort of dangers will they incur? Will it just be blocking off paths, or will it be physical dangers?
It could represent physical dangers such as malfunctioning life support systems, although your suits are sealed in that regard. Malfunctioning defenses. It could represent false information on display screens, feeding you into dangerous areas. Fontis's role basically ensured the data you got off this terminal was accurate.
And we have no way of shutting this down?
No, at the moment in a biological analogy, it's a thrashing beast. It's in its death throes, effectively. Okay. And at this point, trying to stop it would be like trying to hold back a tidal wave. The only thing you can do with the new sphere here is just let it collapse.
So I've heard from Fontes, Radagast, Arlid, Arvek, and Sebastian. What's your opinions? Go through everything, or go straight for the Patriarch and clean up everything else?
So we take the Patriarch first, brother.
I wouldn't mind just killing everything. Get it over with.
Either way, we kill everything.
Yeah.
Just the order we do it in.
Well, let us go straight for the Patriarch then. To ensure we have our own best fitted suit to take care of the task.
What I'm worried about is that we'll fuck up along the way, and then they'll all realize what we're doing, and then rush back and actively help the Patriarch.
Well, as long as we're fast, then either we will be intercepted by the forces we're trying to avoid first, in which case we'll take care of them, and then the Patriarch, or we get to the Patriarch first, finish the Patriarch, and everything else should arrive, as the distance between them should be enough to take one and then the other.
Okie dokie.
Okay, so you're going to attempt to exploit a weakness in the system, as it were, a weakness in the architecture, to find a path through to that. I assume you're looking at the dead zone within the sanctum.
We are, yes. The safest and fastest, or the safest and most direct route we can to get there as fast as possible, as discreetly as possible, with all things considered.
Yeah. Now, you've seen evidence of old and forbidden technology so far on Octavian 4. You've certainly seen it in those infected hybrids that you encountered in the aorta, the great galvanic power artery, which is going to be of considerable interest to the Inquisition. However, what this means is that the Sanctum Inviolate kind of lives up to its name. It was designed to be the central core of protection within this ancient extension on the Hive Spire. Now, orbital strikes, bombardments capable of penetrating the sanctum would destroy the tower. That is not acceptable at the moment. The tower forms an integral part in this. Do you remember, I think it was in the briefing, you found out that the spire forms an integral part of the Hive's external defense network in this sort of plate segment.
Yes, sir.
However, that doesn't mean that it is completely and utterly 100% impregnable. Exploiting weaknesses in the architecture and using controlled demolitions and basically your superhuman endurance for dangerous environments means that the kill team may penetrate where a chemical strike may not. And it's going to come down to rolls as to whether it's possible. We're going to abstract it a little bit, because if I was to narrate going through every sort of nook, cranny, passageway, power relay, sort of arteryway filled with corrosive gas and all the rest of it, we could be here for the next 3 months.
I'm down.
Stop that.
My tent.
Oh, get it out the drafting table.
So we're going to abstract it a little bit. And it's going to be, let's see, some kind of cartography. Demolitions would be the ideal skill for this. If not, an intelligence test at -20. And bear in mind, the only reason that you can make this roll is because of the highly restricted files that Fontis was able to pull out of the new sphere before the data sepulchre collapsed.
Two tests are our options, sorry?
Demolition
It
or
is.
intelligence?
Intelligence at -20 or demolitions.
What's demolition?
It's actually a skill, and I think it's actually based off intelligence.
Yeah.
Demolition on as the base Space Marine skill set, unless you've leveled it up, you don't have it.
I've got
Unless
pretty
you
high
start with
intelligence.
Who's got the highest intelligence?
42.
What do you say? 50.
Yeah.
50.
40.
53.
Who is 53?
I do.
Excellent. Well, I guess it will be down to Rojas then, at a -20.
What? Nobody's got demolitions.
No,
Nope.
Space Marines don't have it as standard.
What? Ah. Breathe, Juicer. Breathe.
But we do have someone with 53 intelligence, so we can try that.
It's pretty impressive. One other thing you can do as well is before you make a roll, you can spend a fate point to add 10% to your chance. That's actually a use of a fate point. Did anybody know that?
I knew that. That's not worth it.
Cool.
Yeah,
Well, in terms of
reroll probably
33
was
to a
better.
43, you can still re-roll, I should point out.
Yeah, I imagine probably best to save that fate point for the reroll.
Okay.
But it's up to Rojas, really.
Sorry, what?
All right, start all over, Juicy.
Right, man. Do you have the demolition skill?
No, I do not.
Okay. In that case, in order to find a weakness in the architecture and the sort of the power, what's the word I'm looking for? Infrastructure, architecture. In order to find a weak point where the kill team could potentially penetrate into the underside of the Sanctum Inviolate using demolition charges and your ability to survive in environments most humans could not, you will need to make an intelligence test at -20.
Okay, just tell me what to roll.
Roll 1d100, and you need to get, is your intelligence 53?
Yes.
You need to get a 33 or less. Before you roll, you may spend one of your 3 fate points to add 10% to your stat, making it into a 43, and you can still re-roll that with your remaining 2 fate points, or you can simply save them for re-rolls. It's entirely up to you.
I'll burn the 1 fate point.
So turning a 33 into a 43.
That is correct.
Okay. Now, if you re-roll this using your other 2 fate points, you will still be re-rolling against that 43.
Okay.
Okay. So, let's see if Brother Cullen can bring his knowledge and his red scorpion. Then he said striking scorpions there, heresy. His red scorpion training to bear on the problem, and
42.
you roll the 42.
Wow.
Yep.
Brother Cullen, using Librarian Fontus's
Librarian.
plans and the files that he pulled out of the binary chaos of the Spire's data networks, and putting your superhuman mental faculties towards it for about perhaps half an hour, you believe you have identified a weak point in the system. It is small. It would represent traveling through areas that, according to these plans, it's unlikely that a human could survive. But you believe that an Astartes, or a squad of Astartes, could do it. And if these plans are correct, it will lead you into that area beneath the Sanctum Inviolate where the new sphere is non-existent.
All right.
Let's do this.
Okay. Right. In order to effect the entry, you will need 2 melter charges.
We have a whole gun. We just
Oh,
put them there, right?
of course you have a multi-melter.
Yeah.
The multi-melter will also do the job. The charges are also useful for setting off in synchronicity in order to get through some of the spaces you need to traverse.
All right.
Okay. So it takes a couple of hours to reach the point in the spire where you believe this weak point to be. Because of the chaos and the gas attack, I'm going to abstract the combat up until that point. Fortunately, it was simply a couple of skirmishes that did not test your skills. Disorientated hybrids, small squads of elite guard. Nothing to note except for a few more laser scars on your armor.
Still frightened by the rights of all, I'd imagine.
That's the thing. What Fontis has infected the data, the Vox network with, I keep saying data. What Fontis has infected the Vox network is basically turning large portions of the lower reaches of the spire into phobic zones, if you know what I mean.
Ooh, that's a stretch, but yes.
Well, maybe not phobic, but you know that there's a certain sound which is naturally unsettling for human beings. Imagine being exposed to that and white noise constantly through the Vox system. Some hybrid squads are actively shooting out Vox grills where they find them in order to stop that unsettling screech. But yeah, as the virus, you have found a way to bypass this body's defenses more efficiently, and it's showing. I'm sorry, my analogies are terrible for Astartes.
It's good.
Okay. Now, passing through this involves inflicting damage on each of you, which is soaked with your armor and your toughness. It's all abstracted. And it represents traversing the lethal reaches of the guts of the spire, if you will, to breach what you suspect to be the Broodlord's chamber. Okay? Are there any objections to this?
No.
No, what are we gonna do?
Mechanically, I roll 2d10 damage individually against each of you. You soak that with your armor and your toughness. Your armor, you count it as being on your chest.
All right.
And this represents lethal gouts of acidic gas, boiling fluids, galvanic arcs, being crushed between moving systems or armatures. Because don't forget, Imperial technology isn't just Gothic stone architecture. It's also machines that can maintain themselves, even if they no longer know how they do it. Machines of frightening sophistication and dread purpose. You will encounter several of these bleak constructs within the guts of the spire, maintaining the life support systems, feeding power around the whole body. And unfortunately, you need to traverse these in order to breach the belly of the Sanctum Inviolate. Am I doing that overly florid description thing again, by the way? Do you want me to simplify this?
No.
I'm trying to find the table of the armor ratings.
Most of you should have 10 armor on your chest, I believe.
I'm using I think it's the Mark 8.
If you have Mark 8, it's 11.
Oh, there we go. I knew there was something different. Excellent. Perfect. I will take that.
Okay. Right. So, who's going to be rolled against first?
Fuck
I'll
it,
take
I'll do
it.
it. Oh, no, someone else took it. Never mind. Ice.
I'll take it.
Okay, Aralud, yes? I know her name. Right, Aralud.
No, it's
You
Arvek.
fucked it.
Arvek!
You fucked it.
Ah, fuck! Okay, Arvek, son of a bitch. Right, Arvek of the Salamanders, you are first. I'll post the damage rolls individually as they are rolled.
It's fun.
Ooh, Arvek. Can you roll a D100 for me? This is your damage roll so far. It has a flat 20% chance to go critical, as though it was making a combat roll.
Oh,
And a 10 has been rolled. Can you roll it for me?
I got an 86.
Okay, so it doesn't go critical. You take 17. You take 17 damage from some nameless, obscure, and extremely dangerous mechanical source.
My toughness is doubled, right?
Yes. So what's your toughness?
My toughness is 50.
Oof. So you've got a toughness of 10 added to your armor.
Yeah, I
he's
got 9
fine.
armor, so I'm fine by 2.
19. Yeah. Your armor takes some crushing damage and some acid corrosion, but the obsidian flesh within your armor is impregnable. It will be a story to tell your brothers of what you've witnessed in there.
Yeah, fuck shit.
Hmm?
No, nothing.
Sorry, am I being too florid again?
No. I'll be happy to hear this story over and over again. And I'll get to say I was there.
Right. Who's next?
Ah, okay, why not?
Radagast. Let's see how you fare against the strange mechanisms of the spire.
I'm getting killed.
Nothing goes critical. You take 14 damage, Radagast.
You got it. Strength of 40. So 8 plus 11. It's 19.
Yeah, you're pretty sorted. Who's next?
I'll go next.
Okay, Aralud. This is the actual Aralud of the White Scars.
Yes.
Ooh. Oh no, wait, that was Arvek's roll. This one. Perhaps you mock your brothers for their slow reactions, but truly you are a son of the swiftest of the Primarchs because they barely touch you.
Jihad Daikon likes going fast.
That motherfucker stubbed his toe.
2 damage.
My toughness is 44, so
Based on your armor and toughness, you probably do more damage shaving if you shave. Who's next? Brother Librarian Theros. Let's roll for you.
Let's do this.
Sanguinius favors you too, Theros.
Excellent.
Your damage is minimal.
My armor has taken much this evening.
Indeed, and Fontus's repairs seem to be holding strong. The machine spirits of your armor, at least, are not complaining over much of their present condition, which you take to be a good sign.
Damn right. They'll be happy, goddammit.
Your power armor is so sophisticated. I mean, if you read the fluff, it has multiple what they call machine spirit or SI, satisfactory intelligences. You know, sophisticated mechanisms and programs keeping it going, but not AIs.
Although my armor may be new and marked, the spirit inside it is old and stern.
Indeed. In fact, it may incorporate machine spirits of the different systems, i.e., may have been incorporated from older suits into its construction. Old war spirits are prized amongst the military classes of the Imperium, and the Mechanicus will go to great lengths to maintain an ancient war spirit service rather than see it destroyed with its shell. Okay, so we have, I believe, Cullen and Fontus to roll. Is that correct?
Yep.
Who's first?
can do it for me first, I guess.
Okay. Fontis. Ooh, Fontis. Perhaps it's the bulk of your mechadendrites or a momentary lapse in your interpretation of the function of a particular mechanism, but you've fallen foul of something that could be potentially significant. Can you give me a 20% critical roll, please?
Uh, 41.
It does not go critical. So, enough damage to challenge your armor, and it will need some repairs, but fortunately, you escape without significant injury. And finally, Brother Cullen.
Yeah.
Brother Cullen, although you take a hefty blow, it does not challenge your armor. It's not
As it
necessarily blows
should be.
either. For example, in the case of Fontis, actually, it may be brief immersion in highly acidic gas. That kind of thing. The guts of this spire are old, they are sophisticated, and in some places they are quite mad because the machinery was already cluttered with scrap code before the wider noosphere began collapsing. So not only are these machines, as I said, bleak and obscure and unsettling of purpose, but some of them are actively going insane. But after several hours of traversing environments and hazards that would instantly slay a mortal, a normal human, or even a hybrid, you reach what you believe to be the outer armored membrane, which forms the exterior. Not literally a membrane, as in it's a partition. You believe that this represents the termination of your objectives. An area choked with pipes and automachinae, bronzite and iron being the dominant colours here. A deep, distant thrumming and chattering of mechanisms. There are prayer scrolls here, which are so old that the ink on them is no longer legible. You have found several sacrifices here as well. What could have been the original architects or constructors of this place, chained and left to die as an offering to the machine spirits to ward off misfortune. Now nothing more than skeletons held by chains of exotic alloys. One charge or one melter shot should breach you in.
And this is us on the doorstep of the quiet zone, I assume.
The doorstep of the beast.
We stare into the mouth of madness.
Perhaps a breaching order would be better than just having the multi-melta burst through, huh? Something to prepare ourselves for the other side.
It would ensure that we don't have someone visible to take fire the second it's breached. We can stay clear of it's a melta charge, this is true.
Then again, maybe Erlid wants to be in the path of devastation.
How thick is the door?
It's not a door. It's actually part of the, as I said, sort of the coppery bronze alloy wall. Without Fontis's data, the assistance of your breaching auger and the breaching auger files, the architectural plans, and Brother Cullen's precision analysis, you would not even know this transpires to the underside of the dead zone.
1 second. Is it for certain that the only way through here is to breach?
You can see no door or hatch or anything like that.
Is there any way that we could perhaps get in here without alerting too much attention to ourselves?
Well, I do have a long-range Voxcaster. Maybe we could tell the other squad to make a distraction for us. But then that put them in danger, and they have someone to take care of.
Yeah, that's not so good. If there's any way we could perhaps use the element of surprise, but if our options are bolt cutters, melta charge, or melta, multi-melta, it doesn't really seem like the most stealthy approach. How quite do you think you could be those bolt cutters, Funness?
Set the charge.
Bulkhead shears. If there is sort of an elemental essence of quiet, these things are the elemental opposite of that.
There you go.
When bulkhead shears are in operation, imagine a combination of a metal grinder and an oxyacetylene torch, but heavy metal the fuck out of both of them. Rock and roll that shit straight up to 11.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Charge it is, gents.
Sometimes no additional options present themselves.
Do we have any way of checking for life forms on the other side of this bulk?
Yes, absolutely. You have an Auspex with you.
No. Siege
My
Oscar.
auger array?
There you go.
Array. That'll do it. I believe the auger array is basically an implanted Auspex, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So you have multiple ways of doing it.
Well,
Also, don't forget your auto sensors, your armor's sensory spirits will mark any movement in your HUDs anyway.
it's more just to figure out if there's anything directly on the other side of the bulkhead, and if there is, we could maybe we could maybe set off the charge directly behind them and maybe do some damage, or who knows.
Oh, I see what you mean. The material composing this bulkhead, I suppose you could call it, is too thick for an Auspex to penetrate.
I think we're just gonna have to go through. We could set 2 charges and go through 2 separate entries.
And I can squeeze my trigger right after it exploded. So
I think once we blow the hole, we'll be piling through anyway. I would like to maybe at least keep 1 melta charge back. How many melta charges do we have collectively at the moment? I have 1.
We've got 2.
So we have 3 altogether.
Okay, as long as we have 1 spare, we can breach 2, or we can breach 1.
Let's breach 1. If there's a fight on the other side, then we can breach 2, and we'll have another way in.
Sounds good.
Okay. So you're setting a charge, yeah?
Yeah, we're setting down 1 charge. Are we getting information before we get in there?
Oh yes. Determine now whether you're going into squad mode or solo mode, and whether you want to use any particular attack patterns.
As far as I'm aware, we're all still in squad mode from the start of the mission. Is anyone wanting to leave squad mode? Or?
Oh. I believe we have 4 cohesion. Blew off 3, but we gained back 1.
Oh, we had 5.
We have 5 cohesion.
5. Okay.
This is speaking as a player of Deathwatch. One general use defensive pattern we found was very, very useful in most every situation, whether or not we knew what was going to happen, is the one that lets you share reactions between each other.
We don't have that.
I think it's a general one, and I think you have access to it anyway.
No, sir.
Oh dear. You know the one I'm talking about.
Uh-huh.
Well, if anyone's got any requests for any particular formations for this scenario, feel free to share. However, the ones that I'm aware that I have to my ability are, of course, go to ground, dig in, and strong point. The Oath of Knowledge is really where the Oath of Knowledge base ability is really where the benefits I saw in the Oath itself. But is there any other abilities that anyone else would?
Yeah. Fucking Aerolid still wants to use his White Scar's attack pattern.
Yeah.
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 Which,
I've got a
Can't
pretty good
share it.
defensive melee one.
can't share it, Chief.
Yep.
What abilities do we have at our disposal just now? Is what I'm asking.
them up there.
Other than those that I read out, so just those in. So we got dig in, go to ground, or strong point.
Yeah. And that's assuming whatever's on the other side shoots back at us. Doesn't just run at us like fucking madmen.
You know, you have Deathwatch hypno training, which means you have an instinctive. Not only do you know them from having studied the scrolls and the other forbidden knowledge of your alien foe, but you also understand, sort of on an instinctive level, almost how they think. And you know that very rarely has a broodlord been observed wielding a ranged weapon, although they absolutely can do it. Assuming they can find one large enough. I mean, there's one relatively obscure document that you've studied at the watch station, which mentions that a broodlord was sighted by a kill team 600 years ago, wielding a las cannon. However, they are not known for it. They are highly intelligent, but they are also highly instinctive beasts.
Well, for all we know, we're going to blow this bulkhead and there's going to be nothing on the other side for a start. So we may as well make our way through and then find out what we're facing before we start
Alright.
building abilities.
Before you go in there, I believe once you actually start a sustained squad mode ability, it is free for the rest of the mission.
Yes, it is. I believe it only stops if you replace it with another squad mode ability, or you break squad mode.
Alright, so there's no problem in just starting up strong point. Whatever's on the other side, we actually just stand our ground and shoot it, or do whatever it is we need to do. As long as whoever you have actively made stationary, remains stationary so that we can gain the benefits of it.
Okay, that's what. Yeah, I was going to think if there's anyone, it would be strong point, and
Basically,
we need someone with range for center.
whenever you are strong point, all you do is call out targets, and then, of course, it's going to be the target everyone else is going to go for. And as long as you do call out that target, everyone else gets bonuses to it, both melee and ballistic.
Okay, well, fair enough. I shall activate strong point for 3 cohesion, which is sustained. And the center will be...
Any volunteers?
How about the Devastator?
Yeah.
He's got a multi-melter, so that should have enough range, right?
He comes up to the hole.
Alright,
Yeah.
yep. Fair enough. Arlo, you are the center. I'm activating strong point 3 cohesion, which brings us down to 2 cohesion left.
Now, let me tell you about marking enemies. It's either a free action on your turn, or it takes up your reaction. Got it?
Okay.
And it's down to it's down to Arlo to call shots. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. Okay.
Okay.
Alright.
Yeah.
Fontus, I only have 1 charge left. Will you be so kind as to do the honors?
Sure. I can just do this as a free action, right? I don't need to roll anything because it's not combat.
I'll describe what happens. Fontus, you attach the melter charge next to a yellowed skull, swaddled with wiring and covered in prayer strips. The prayer strips are perhaps based on the material, the state of decay, the greenish corrosion of the metal that the skull, the machinery of the skull is set into. Possibly 1,500 to 2,000 years old, maybe. You plant the charge next to this piece of ancient mechanical architecture. And after a few moments, following the depression of the rune of activation, the charge blasts that piece of machinery and the entire bulkhead surrounding it into a molten, steaming mass that releases a colossal amount of heat. Whatever exotic alloy this partition is constructed of, when the melter charge blows through it, the radiolic emission from it is massively intense. So a very heavy material indeed, but still not enough to withstand the subatomic energies unleashed by the charge. Beyond is what can only be described as a charnel pit. The second the charge melts through, you actually have bloody vapor wafting out around your shins and your greaves from the sweltering, rotting biomatter within. And it is a pit. That's the only way to describe it. Strange organic crenellations cover a space the size of a small coliseum, almost like a small amphitheatre of great pipes and ductwork. Strange cables and other protuberances, obviously alive, definitely of brood origin. Sacks as well, in which clawed skeletal shapes of gene stealers appear to sleep or rest. And beyond the center of the pit is a mass of bone, skeletal remains, shredded clothing, and rotting flesh and blood splattered up the walls, as though a vast number of bodies have been dropped from a great height. And sure enough, even in the dimness, your auto senses can quite clearly perceive a portal, almost an iris in the roof, several dozen feet above the floor, where this mass charnel it's not a grave, but this charnel pit is found. And beyond it, almost in a posture of rest itself, is a great hulking shape, which is already stirring into action at this intrusion into its lair.
Is that the only thing that we...
No, you're picking up movement from several of these brood pods, you could call them as well. Sorry, I couldn't think except as mass grave. There's actually a picture somebody's posted, let's see if I can find it, of a brood lord feasting on like a pile of bloody flesh. And that is very much what you're seeing here.
This big hulking shape, is it blatantly alive?
Blatantly alive. It stands nearly 3 times the height of a man. It would tower over an Astartes.
Grenades?
And
I want to try something a bit weird.
well, as you step in, black eyes as distant and pitiless as dead stars turn to face you, and a mouth that could engulf a human torso whole spreads to reveal needle-like translucent fangs as the brood lord hisses with alien rage at this intrusion.
I need to consult you, Juicer.
Absolutely, man. I have found that picture, by the way.
My character skill is Gregarious. In the rulebook, it says you can use your character skill once per mission only.
Mm-hmm.
Gregarious is a speaker thing.
Yes, you're approachable, you're personable.
So as this big hulking mass starts to shift in the darkness before, with a plasma in his right hand and his left hand resting on the hilt of his blade, Theros starts a bit of a little sentimental speech.
Dear Diary, today I witnessed the death of a psyker.
Before you stands one of the many horrors of man. By sacred duty, you are tasked to end this foe. Do not be mistaken. for this will be no easy task. It is true, this monster may be our end. Yet to die in service is our privilege, our honor. He slowly turns to face the rest of the squad. We may not all share the same heritage, yet in this hour, under this banner, we stand as brothers, as our fathers did before us. Turning back to the hole, gritting his teeth, his grip tightening on his effects. Before you stands one of these many horrors of man, brothers. Just one. And by our blood, our duty will be done. Whatever that fate may be, for on this hour, the Emperor is watching. And you, brother, are his mailed fist.
As you speak, Theros, the Broodlord is tearing itself free of the mucus-lined cocoon of which it's been resting was like a grotesque throne. Your words seem to enrage it. It's bubbling anger, almost palpable in psychic roiling waves as it tears itself free. Just as you say, it is only but one. Several of the other pods begin to tear open as Gene Stealers answer their master's psychic call. But even in the face of this hollow, void-like, vile beast, yeah, that was a pretty damn epic speech.
Do we get any kind of riling bonus from that using my character skill? Do we get any bonuses for riling the squad?
I believe there's actually an effect, isn't there?
Well, no, the skill itself just says as long as you can RP it, according to the GM, is allowed to give a bonus, be it on use in talking to someone to manipulate a scenario or to manipulate someone. What I'm doing it here is to try and, if you will, manipulate the squad into raising the morale or raising their spirit to the horrors that, well, let's face it, we've been very lucky up to this point. We may be about to die.
Very well. Do you all agree that was a rousing speech from the perspective of your Astartes?
That was beautiful, man.
Yeah, not really.
Okay, so we've got one positive, one negative. Everybody else?
They're all dead. You killed them, Witchkin.
They were listening to the speech and Gene Stealers ate them.
But do we get any kind of bonuses for this?
If enough of your Astartes agree, I say that one bonus cohesion point would be very appropriate.
Well, just
Here.
in character, I had to say no.
No, that's fine. Please respond from the perspective of your character.
There goes our surprise.
Radagast. Radagast. Like I said, we may not share the same heritage. Yet in this hour, under this banner, we stand as brothers. You motherfucker. Be aroused.
Your speech is touching, brother. But that monster, that monstrosity, is just today's task. That's all it is.
As Radagast spits this, with the horrors beginning to tear and skitter from the pod like spiders, the Broodlord scutters forward and unleashes an bone-shaking roar. You have faced many horrors in your time serving as Astartes, many of which have been extraordinarily loud, but this thing truly ranks amongst the loudest roars you've heard.
Theros just roars back. Have at you!
Alright guys, let's roll initiative.
That's actually my chapter's battle cry.
Let's roll initiative. Oh,
Right.
that reminds me of Exalted. There's a funny meme postery thing, because Exalted you basically play demigods that can become like ridiculously powerful, and it's the old GM trope of, right, okay, I've had enough. God comes down and kills you all, and the Exalted player can say in all seriousness, roll initiative.
Alright.
Okay. Right.
Don't forget
Now.
to add your agility.
Yeah,
The bonus
add your agility to your D10 roll.
Or the first number of your agility.
First number, yeah. Not the
So I got.
I was just like, I got 54.
Does that mean my agility explodes?
That means you need
no
new legs.
agility can't explode when rolling for initiative.
Rojas need from that is
Yeah, Rojas, add your... Can you hear us?
agility bonus.
Yep.
Add your base agility to your roll.
Oh shit, baby, you did. Wait, no, never mind.
There we go.
Hey,
I'm happy. I rolled my max possible. Got 17.
I rolled pretty low this time.
Oh, my max possible 15.
What's this thing's, this thing and its consort's agility?
Oh god!
Broodguard Gene Stealers? That's just... Those are just hybrids, right? Or are they...
No, they're pure strains.
You got 18 pure strains and a fucking patriarch.
No,
Actually-
as in that's their initiative. There are 4 brood guard.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a...
18, that would we'd be
I thought it
fine.
was a magnitude 18 Broodguard horde. Well, I mean,
Alright, well,
how
far away
big is
from
the hole we
Mari?
blew?
Melt charge. Enough to easily allow an Astartes.
But not a patriarch.
yeah, that thing is 3 times our size.
Well, that thing we could maybe get caught up in the hole in the door. We could just sit here and shoot for as long as we can, and then go into melee.
Let's not go into melee.
Don't
We'll
forget.
try. We'll try.
Don't forget you're underneath the Sanctum Inviolate at the moment. So, as to whether there's going to be any outside interference into this brood chamber, you don't know.
Oh fuck!
What do you mean?
I was right.
Speed is of the essence. Is very much sense here.
How
Okay.
far away is it from us?
The Brood Lord
All of them.
across all of them, perhaps 40 meters, 45 meters. As I said, it's about this chamber beneath is the size of a small Colosseum arena.
Oh, the Nova grenade.
No grenade?
It'd be too far away, wouldn't it?
No, not for his fucking powered up arms.
Well,
We're far enough.
I would advise we all stay on this side of the bulkhead and shoot through the hole in the door, because it will come into range of everything next turn for guaranteed. And then we can just try and take care of the Gene Stealers while it struggles to get through the bulkhead, and hopefully we have enough time to take care of it. That would be my suggestion, gents.
My trigger fingers itching.
Oh, hush you! It's out of your range.
No, 60 meters.
60. Okay, never mind. Well, let's see. The first thing to go is the Brood Guard by the looks of it, with 18.
Yep. Four of the resting Brood Guard rip out of their mucus and chitin pods in a way, almost like something they were resting in, and leaping and skittering like hyperactive spiders, hurtle across through the charnel mush and between the pillars, racing towards the kill team. They use their absolute full maximum movement to move as close to you as they can.
What's their distance?
Their distance is... Holy
Their
absolute
doorstep.
motherfucker of gods, 36 meters.
Around our doorstep.
Oh.
Holy shit.
Yeah, these... Actually, if they go absolute balls flat out, they move 72. But they're going to be using half sprint. charge. Absolute flat out. No. In order to maneuver between the pillars and across the bulkheads, the stanchions, across the cables and similar, it's going to be 36 meters.
If everyone agrees, can Chaplin go first and call the target?
He could have done that by now by sacrificing his reaction. But now we put all this weight on him to pick a target that will not murder us in the next turn.
I am assuming the Gene Stealers have more movement than the Patriarch.
You're absolutely right. The Patriarch is not as swift as its smaller brethren.
I cannot choose your actions for you, gentlemen, but I would probably strongly lean towards taking care of these Gene Stealers, considering they're like, what, 11 meters, 14 meters away from us?
36, they're 4 meters away from
4
you.
meters away. Okay, I stand corrected. Maybe I was wrong.
But never mind.
Yeah, maybe I was wrong. Go for the Patriarch.
Throw the Nova grenade at the Patriarch, and it will still reach the Gene Stealers here with a lesser effect. But ignore that. We can just kill them.
That is true.
So it all just depends. So Juicer, if everyone agrees, can everyone nominate to let Chaplin go before everyone else, so he can call target?
Yes, I'll permit that. As long as he's on the top initiative.
The Codex Astartes.
He's not at the top
supports this
initiative.
action.
That's the thing. He's got 7
I've got
initiative.
the lowest. I've got the lowest.
Ah.
But if they're all aiming,
In that case, I'm afraid that you can't. It goes off your initiative as your action.
You can still sacrifice your reaction.
He can.
Yeah, instead of doing it on your turn for free, you can sacrifice your action to call the target as they charge. That does leave you without a reaction against the Gene Stealers, though.
Yeah. That's pretty bad, too.
But it may mean that we kill the Gene Stealers. Does call target?
Is that
Does call
I'm okay with
target?
Gene Stealers.
Does the call target apply to all the Gene Stealers or just one single model?
Just one.
Just one. You call one target at a time.
Okay,
So
never mind.
it's not worth it right
No,
now.
it's not.
Let's save it for the Patriarch.
Yeah, I'd say just go by normal initiative then.
So that's my turn then?
Okay, so that was the Broodguard Gene Stealers. As these shrieking horrors skitter, leap, and sprint with astonishing speed towards you, you can see beyond them more of those strange throne-like mucus and chitin stanchions beginning to squirm as their inhabitants respond to their lord's psychic call.
Oh, that's not good.
Can I deny the witch?
Oh, I'm not sure, actually, under tabletop rules. Not for this purpose here, though. You can hear it, though, Saint. It's almost like a hollow scrabbling, like nails down a chalkboard in your mind. The distant scream of a beast in the void. It's calling for aid. It knows it's under threat.
I retort to it by projecting a similar feeling, but that of aggression, carnage, destruction, the wrath that's about to fall them.
Green space, nigga!
You wear that like a cloak about your psychic aura. If it can smell it, it knows. Who's next?
nice.
I shall.
Arvek.
4 meters, what you say?
Is it Arvek? Please tell me it's Arvek.
Yeah.
Yes. Small victories. Nice. Brother Arvek, what's your action?
4 meters, what you said, right?
4 meters. Bear in mind that your action takes place while they're charging as well, so imagine it all cinematically.
I'm going to charge the closest one to me.
You're going to count. Fair enough, so you're going to meet the charge.
Meet the charge. My swift attack move, let's go. Yeah, swift attack.
Sounds good.
Wait, and what was the bonus for my speech? 1 cohesion.
1 cohesion.
Damn it, I want a bonus to weapon skill.
You don't need it, cocksucker.
That weapon skills are really high, plus the oath and knowledge, so shouldn't be that big of a deal.
We're fine. We're all fine.
Do I
Minus
roll the
kneecap
hit?
or two.
Yep. Roll your attacks, man.
Okay, 2 of them hit. The
Okay.
one of the power axes and the bolt pistol.
Right. Which is first, pistol or axe?
Pistol, I would assume. Or a pistol.
Okay. Arvek, you charge to meet the Gene Stealer's skittering assault. A snapping claw flashes and swats aside your bolt pistol as you raise it to blow off the head of the lead Gene Stealer, but it is too slow to stop the crushing descent of your power axe. It has parried the pistol. It has not parried the axe, and yes, they do get 2 reactions a turn.
They sure do.
That's the damage of the power axe plus my strength times
Doesn't
2,
I
right?
think.
Damage. It's damage.
Double
to
the first
weapon
number.
plus-
Double the first number of your strength.
Okay.
And so let's go through this. Strength. What's your strength?
50.
50.
Or-
So
Oh,
double that.
oh yeah, 50. No, it's 50.
Okay, 50. So take the 50, double it. Take that first number 5, double it to 10 for your unnatural strength times 2. Now add 20% for your armor's strength bonus. So that's a 2. So
Well,
12.
I get the 50 for. It's plus the 10. So would I only do the 4 plus 1 then? Because I have Mark 6.
Oh yes, it's only plus 10 for Mark 6. So 10 for your strength, 1 for your armor, because it's plus 10%. Take the first number.
Well, I have 40 strength then without the armor, so it would be 8. It would be 9 then.
Ah, right, okay, yes, so 9. What's the damage bonus for the axe?
1d10 plus 8.
So add the 8 to the 9, that's 17. So it's 1d10 plus 17, penetration. It's going to actually, no, forget the penetration. I'm pretty certain it's high enough to go through the carapace.
I got a 25.
Okay, roll your damage.
Yeah, that's the damage, is 25.
Did you roll a 10?
Yeah, got an 8. Plus 17. Correct?
You rolled an 8. Yeah, 25. Ooh. It's going to feel that in the morning. Holy shit, it's got 1 wound left.
God damn it. My first strike that has failed to fell a foe in the first hit.
Holy crap,
Clinging
yeah.
on to life.
1 wound. It's literally got 1 wound left.
It's clinging on to life.
Gene Stealer relic.
Your first
powerful.
flail failed to fell a foe.
Okay, no.
Your first flail failed to fell a foe.
The power field of your axe shears and boils flesh to steam as the Gene Stealer slams into your armor, Arvek, with enough force to send you both crashing into the wall. Who's next?
Fontis.
I don't know.
Fontis.
But Fontis has never really had a chance to get his hands dirty in a combat situation yet. There's always just something in the way, or his initiative's too low, or he's got
What are you talking about?
You got to
I
rip
wrecked on that first mission.
Yeah, you got the very first one. Yeah, but since then you haven't really got your hands dirty for a while. Like think about you were in the pod for the ocean one, and earlier on in this mission you rolled a low initiative, and you got to get 1 Gene Stealer. But this will be the first time you really went first in a proper combat scenario in a little while now. And fucking hell, you've got a fair amount of options here.
Vision fills with chaos, Fontis, as Arvek is slammed into the wall by a screaming Gene Stealer. What's your action? The swarm is already upon you.
I'm going to intercept the Gene Stealer attacking Arvik, I guess.
Okay, so you're going to attack the Gene Stealer on Arvek. Roll your attack, man. You gain an additional plus 10% for the gang up bonus.
Plus 10 for Oath of Knowledge.
A melee attack. With my chain bayonet, which counts as a normal bayonet, right? Or I mean a normal chainsword.
Yep, counts as a chainsword.
And before you finalize everything, are you making a charged attack or just a regular, you walk up there and cut the nigga?
Charge attack. Walk up
Alright.
cold as fucking cut a nigga.
Then you get plus 10 to weapon skill. Another one.
Oh god. So like, what's that? Plus 20 to weapon skill right now?
30.
Plus
30.
30.
Oh shit.
Why, how's it 30?
Oath of Knowledge, gang up, and then the charge.
That's right. Thank you, Chief.
Don't fill this roll, Havel.
4 degrees of success. 4.3.
Wow.
Remember
Okay.
be- remember be
It has
careful.
no more reactions. Roll your damage, Fontis.
I have to find the damage. I don't think I wrote down the damage for a regular
What?
chainsword.
A regular chainsword? It should
Yeah.
be in Discord. Are you using
Oh.
the Living Errata one?
Arvik.
Yeah, I guess it's the most up to date one, isn't it? I thought we were all using that.
It doesn't matter. You get to pick right now. I have both of them in Discord.
Just for future reference, Havel, usually rolling like the way you've rolled there generally gets some minus degrees of success. Most time it's used, just FYI. For future rolls.
I found that it does fuck up a lot when you're doing skills and things like that. But if you're just doing a general off the, if you're just doing like a weapons test like I did right there, it usually comes out okay. But if it gets too funky, then I'll just ask you guys if I can roll it again. I really do like the convenience of having it all built into the character sheet.
Arvik. Several £100 of alien fury and chitin slam you into the wall, but before the Gene Stealer can hook its claws into your armor, your vision is misted with spraying blood as Fontis plunges his chain bayonet into its shrieking body. Fontis, roll your damage.
He's trying to.
This is very much, if anybody's ever played Doom, this is very much a glory kill moment.
Alright, so Living Errata and Core Rulebook damage is the same. It's 1d10 plus 3. Penetration 4.
I couldn't get that shit dope.
Okay.
I got you, man.
What's your strength, Fontis?
My strength is
My brother, you need to get some matcha.
strength is 65.
Okay, is that with your armor?
Yep.
Okay, so it's 45 double to 8, plus 2 for your armor is 10. So plus 13, plus 13, pen 2, but you roll 2d10 and pick the highest for your damage because it's a tearing weapon.
Pin 4.
It was pen 4. Nice.
Yes, sir.
So
Yeah, you roll
2d10.
2d10.
Pick the highest and add 13.
Alright, rolled a 9. Is the highest?
That has a chance to go critical, but you don't need to roll it because you've literally torn it almost in half. You plunge your chain bayonet into its shrieking body, Fontis, and with a roar of the whirling teeth, rip it into a flopping, splattering mess before it can tear into Arvek's armor.
Look at that chain bayonet.
Who's next?
Good lord.
Oh,
that's the
fuck.
good Lord. So that leaves 3 Gene Stealers, correct?
3 Gene Stealers and the Broodlord.
For now.
Now, yeah.
Hey, do Gene Stealers have natural armor?
They do, 6 points of carapace.
Oh, fuck.
Which is why Hellfire rounds are so effective against them, because Hellfire ignores natural armor.
I don't have that, but I do have crack. Thank goodness.
What's the Broodlord do?
The Broodlord is part of this charging mass, except that it's slower and more lumbering than its compatriots. Is it its initiative?
It is indeed.
Yes, it is. It too makes its full move of 24 meters.
24, that's not as bad. So it started 45 meters away.
Turn is going to charge and hit one of us.
So
Or
it means
both of us.
it's
It's blind.
21 meters away now.
26.
As it charges, there's a glimmer of intelligence in its dead black eyes, and it knows what your weapons are. You know Broodlords are that intelligent, which means it's likely going to be directing its brood to exploit that. At the sight of the multi-melter, it almost stops short. Almost.
Okay. Well, if that's the Broodlord's turnover, I do believe I'm up.
Theros.
So, in a
16
in a
meters.
straight line, how many Gene Stealers can I get between me and the Broodlord?
You can get 2 of them.
For I plan on using my Blood Lance on the
Oi, mate.
Broodlord, and that will damage everything it passes through.
Rip.
Seeing that in action.
Pardon?
Broodlord knows about your blood lance.
Excellent.
Well, the Broodlord might not know about psychic power.
Oh yeah.
One of the hybrids has seen it in action.
Oh yeah, they have, haven't they?
What was that?
The hybrids, they witnessed your blood lance in action, so it may not have a precise understanding, but it likely has a dim awareness of what you're capable of.
Well, it was against the only thing that was alive when I used it last was the old man who was cowering, the old man hybrid.
Oh, he was cowering, wasn't he?
So he never saw it, and all the rest of them were dead by the time I used it, apart from that dreadnought, it's battle servitor.
Well, I'm not going. It's purely cinematic. It's not going to have any effect on the fight. But we'll go as far as to say that it's aware that you're a psyker. Then that much is obvious. You're both psykers.
I've already kind of screamed at it mentally, so.
That's true. So, son of Sanguinius, what's your action?
Well, drawing my sword, and with the same gritted teeth as always, I'm conjuring up the powers of the warp to try and pierce from the palm of my hand a long string of psychic power represented in a stream of blood. Would be the apt equivalent, I guess. So, can I use a half action to, is it channel, to make it more likely, or is that for the next turn?
No, you can, as long as the power you're using is also a half action.
I have Warp Sense for 500 points that lets me use spells that are a full action as a half action.
Okay, so yes, you can actually make a Synescience channeling test to do it.
Excellent, so I would roll off willpower, I imagine. That was a genuine question. I do roll off willpower, don't
Yes, you do. Synescience goes off willpower.
I? I figured as...
Sorry.
There we go. I rolled 2 low.
God damn.
So I'm going to reroll. Okay.
He's burned a fate point.
Yeah, so I burnt a fate point. My channeling, the Synescience failed, which only leaves the actual spell left now then. So I can't improve
So
the
you
spell.
get no bonus for the spell roll.
Yeah, and I burnt a fate point as well.
Okay.
So let's see, the spell goes up.
Psychic power, it's not a spell.
Yes, apologies.
Give him a corruption point.
Now, I have a willpower of 40. And I rolled a 41.
That's a fail.
Do I have any bonuses for this?
No.
What is...
What about your psychic hood, dude?
That's what I'm just looking at, yeah.
You're
Plus
psychic.
5
Wait.
bonus to all focus power tests, including no
Hold
focus.
on, yeah, it's a psi focus, which means you get a +5 bonus.
Ha! I passed it by 4
Oh.
points.
Lucky bastard.
I knew there was something I got that added on, but I didn't know what. I thought it was actually 10, but I'll take 5.
You're using your sword as the
realize
focus.
I won't get to attack.
Let's see.
Feros, you said you were pointing your sword and using it as your focus.
No, I was channeling the spell just from and it's basically using my hand as the focus, I guess.
Okay. You raise your hand and unchain the gates of the warp in your mind. And the blood of 1,000 blood angels spilled on 1,000 misty, forgotten battlefields erupts from your hand in a devastating blast of gore. The fury of your fallen brothers and the power of the warp embodied into a squirming mass of bloody tendrils capable of piercing the armor of a battle tank. Roll your damage for your power once, man, and apply it to 2 of the Gene Stealers and the Broodlord.
So it's let's see, 1d10 times my psychic rating with rending, not reduced by toughness, but cover and armor as normal. So I rolled 1d10 and I got a 5.
No, you roll 3d10, man.
So I got 5, 8, 3. And my
5, 8,
psychic
3.
rating is 3, so it was 1d10 times 3. So it'll be 5 times 3, 8 times 3, and 3 times 3. So 15.
No, it's your psychic rating times d10s, which is 3. So you roll 3 d10s. And that was a 5, an 8, and a 3.
Okay, my fault.
So that was 16 damage, ignoring toughness but not ignoring armor. That's not actually enough to kill any of them. It's definitely enough to wound them and shear them, but it's not enough to kill them.
It does also have rending. That doesn't come into play unless you roll
That's the
another attack.
type of damage it does, which is R damage. It affects the criticals it can do. Would you like to re-roll your damage?
No, I best save my 2 fate points in case I turn into a flash gate later on.
I have to let my dog out real quick. Be right back.
Okay.
How many wounds does the patriarch have?
You don't know.
You don't know.
It's a lot.
How many wounds did I do to the Gene Stealers?
You did 10 wounds to the Gene Stealers.
10 a pop, or 10 in total?
10 to both of them.
So what are they down to now?
And they're down. Well, you know how tough Gene Stealers are. They're down to 10.
Okay, so we have 1 Gene Stealer still at full health, and 2 Gene Stealers at 10 wounds. And the Patriarch...
And the Patriarch has lost 10 as well. The Patriarch has lost 8.
Yeah.
It doesn't arrest their charge, but they shriek in agony. It also batters them, leaving bloody stains on their carapaces as they stumble. The actual blood at the culmination of psychic power bursts into nothingness.
Yeah, I imagine that just leaving a long sort of vaporous trail that's slowly fading out from itself.
Yeah, vaporized blood. Okay, who's
And that,
next?
as they say, is that for my turn.
Rojas should be next.
Sebastian Cullen.
Yes.
What's your action, brother?
Well, I would attack one of the Gene Stealers. Or not Gene Stealers, but minions.
Minions, an injured one or the fresh one?
Fresh one.
Okay. You test your metal against the Gene Stealer, which was not speared by your brother's witch bolt.
Mhm.
Right, roll your attacks.
Wait, hold on. Are you charging at it with your melee, or are you shooting at it?
Yeah. No, I am charging at it with melee.
All right.
You hurl yourself at it to clash against its claws.
So that would be the charge plus 10.
Plus 10. Plus
Those
10 for the
knowledge
other
plus
side. 20.
What else?
That's it.
That's it. That is it.
So D100, right?
Right.
69.
And your weapon skill is?
Would you like to re-roll that?
Wow,
How many
what's-
attacks are you making as well?
Oh, just one. Just the one attack.
Charge is a full action.
What's your weapon skill?
Or weapon skill?
Yeah.
47.
Actually, don't worry about it. It's parried.
Son of a bitch.
It swats your. Is it a chainsword?
No, it's power sword.
It smacks your power sword away with a blast of vaporized claw. It actually loses the tip of its claw in the process, but that's not stopping it.
Adaptable thing.
Who's next?
Ojo.
Yeah, that's me. Wait, give
Had
me
a
a
guess.
moment. Give me a moment, guys.
No worries, man.
Got a phone call.
What's the skill that gives you a second reaction?
I've got it right here. It's. Where is it? Step aside, I believe. Or lightning reflexes, one of the two.
Lightning reflexes is you add twice your agility bonus to initiative rolls.
Gotcha. Step
That one-
aside, then I think.
Seems real good.
Alright, I'm sorry about that, guys.
You okay, man?
Okay! One photon flash left.
Oh yeah, it is.
Might as well.
Set.
What's that?
No, this is something me and Juice were talking about.
Yeah. I was getting ready and then drop the photon flash just like last time. Juicy?
Hello?
Hello?
What are you doing, man?
I'm going to ready the photon flash and just drop it as a free action.
And the charnel pit lights up with the flash of a caged star. Let me make their rolls.
Yeah, do it.
Okay, rolling for the 2 gene stealers. Both, the 3 gene stealers. All 3 pass.
Well, oh, worth a shot.
It's toughness, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ooh, where'd that 58 come from?
What about that Broodlord?
No, that 58's from a... That's not actually on the list. Where did that come from? Oh, it's the previous roll. That was the parry. And the Broodlord. Holy shit, the Broodlord does not.
Yeah!
Blind.
Yeah.
Broodlord rolls a 92. It does not pass. The Broodlord is blind.
Let's see. Rolling the D10. Oh, fuck. I rolled a 1.
So it's blind for a round.
One whole round. I can't,
It,
use a fate
it
point.
shrieks in agony, covering its eyes with its claws. Holy
Say-
crap! How did the 3 Gene Stealers pass and the Broodlord not pass?
No, I can't use a fate point to re-roll that, can I?
Afraid not.
Okay, that's okay. Alright. Now that that's out the way, if I were to use a semi-auto burst, could I divide the shots between the third and the second Gene Stealer?
If you get enough degrees of success to score 2 hits, yes, you can.
Okay.
You need 2 degrees of success to score 2 hits with a semi-auto burst.
Okay, semi-auto burst. I have a motion predictor, it turns out.
Oh wow! So it's as these things were charging, your gun was already basically pulling your arm in the direction where you need to shoot.
And the semi-auto burst. Let me fucking find it again. This is fucking ridiculous. That's an additional 10 to ballistic skill, plus the oath of knowledge. Doing munchkin shit here. Okay, so there's plus 10 for the motion protector, plus 10 for the oath, and plus 10 for the semi-auto. That's just plus 30.
So what's your ballistic skill?
It is 54, I believe.
So you need to roll 64 to score 2 hits.
My mistake, it's 57.
You rolled 57, yeah?
57 is my ballistic skill.
Ah, got you. So yeah, 87. You need to roll 87 to hit once, or 67 or less to hit twice.
28.
In fact, that's 3 hits.
But the semi-auto burst is only 2 shots long.
There's only
So-
2 shots for a bolt gun. I thought it was 3 for a bolt gun.
Not for the living errata one.
Still 2, yeah?
Yes, sir.
Right then. So, that's 2 hits. You want it on one on each Gene Stealer, yeah?
Yeah. Presumably the wounded ones that are not in melee combat with Sebastian.
That would make sense.
So I don't shoot him.
One of the Gene Stealers drops below your shot, just bolt singing over its shoulder. The second one behind its companion is less than 0.2 of a second behind. It is not fast enough, and it catches the bolt square in its torso.
1d10 plus 9. Penetration 4 because I never specified what bolts.
You can't. You're an Astartes man. I assume that you'd have set your bolts on instinct. What bolt are you firing?
Kraken.
Kraken penetrator. Okay. So, and remember that your bolt gun is tearing as well. So you roll 2d10 for the damage and you take the highest.
Gotcha. Penetration 8, I think it was.
Is it Kraken bolts which have the gets hot rule?
No, that's
No.
Vengeance.
Because I know one of the bolts has it.
Pretty sure Vengeance is the one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Penetration 8, and its range increased by 50%.
Yeah, that goes right through the Gene Stealer's carapace.
Okay, so the highest was 7, plus the 9.
16. And this is
Sir.
on one of the wounded ones, yeah?
Mhm.
It bursts like a ripe tomato. The bolt slams right through its rib cage and detonates inside its rapidly throbbing alien organs. It literally erupts and splatters over your armor.
Fantastic.
It doesn't even have time to scream, it just bursts.
Good old flesh balloon.
Hmm?
A flesh balloon.
It's not the Black Knight, unfortunately for it. Right. Who's next?
I'm gonna
Reaction.
nominate the Brute Lord as a preferred
You're
target.
calling the Brood Lord as the target.
Yeah, that's one. I'm not gonna move, but I'm gonna squeeze my trigger, and I'm gonna target its feet.
You're going to hit it with a multi-melter.
Yes.
Making a called
Leg.
shot.
Emperor bless your shot, brother.
Minus 20 for being called, but plus 20 because he is ineffective his own called shot. It's ridiculous.
Plus 10 for the oath.
It's time for the Oath of Knowledge.
Nah, plus 10 for the oath. That would be it because you make a called shot.
I rolled an 18.
What is the effect of the cold shot if it hits?
Called shot, if it hits, does damage solely to the area of which he called for, which would be the leg. If he has armor there, specifically anything like that, if he does critical damage, it would be an effect of the legs.
Got you. So you've called the leg, yeah?
Yeah, thanks.
Wow.
I've rolled an 18. My ballistic skill is 46.
That's a hit. That's very much a hit. Ironically, in the leg. Just take the 18, you reverse it to 81, and that's a leg hit.
Wow. Damn.
Okay. You're hitting it with a multi-melter, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay. And the damage of a multi-melter is?
Oh shit. Using the core rulebook one?
Always the living Urartaman.
Multi-melta is 2d10 plus 16. Penetration 12. Blast of 1. So anything within 10 meters of it is also hit.
Unfortunately, its fellow Gene Stealers are 2 meters outside that.
Yeah.
Okay. Roll your damage, man.
2 sevens, so 14.
14 plus 16, 30. Penetration goes right through its armor. So 18. Yeah, that blast scorches and blackens most of the armor on its leg, instantly drying out a good chunk of the moisture on the limb as well. Amazingly, its leg remains attached. It does, however, scream in unholy agony, and its charge is briefly arrested because it just had one leg knocked out from underneath it by a blast of subatomic energy.
Keeping in mind, it moved its full distance, which last time, which was 24. Oh no, sorry, 21. Regardless, if it moves its full distance, it's going to be just outside of melee range anyway. So we still got a 4 round shooting at that bastard.
Okay, who's next?
On top.
Start all over again.
It's the 2 surviving Gene Stealers.
What's their wound?
One is uninjured, one is 10 wounds down.
Okay.
One of the uninjured one throws itself at the multi-melter almost as a living shield, and the second one throws itself at you, Theros.
Excellent.
The 2 major threats.
I thought Sebastian was charging
Oh no,
once.
Sebastian, you're locked in combat with the uninjured one, aren't you?
Yeah.
Sorry, I beg your pardon.
He has to
So it's
disengage
tangled up
for-
with you. The other one will throw itself at Aralud.
Excellent.
Literally throwing itself almost into the path of the blast. It just fails to intercept the blast for its master, but it leaps into the attack in an attempt to kill you. Okay, against you, Sebastian.
Alright.
The Tyranid, you know how fast these things attack. It's still only hit once.
of which you could use your reaction to parry.
Yep. Its flashing claws would have eviscerated a human into thinly sliced kebab strips in a heartbeat. Somehow, your blade is there to intercept most of them.
Yeah, speaking of which, I was going to ask if I was going to parry it.
Yep, you can parry the hit.
Alright, let's do it. Roll D100 or D10?
100. It's a ballistic skill test. No, weapon
skill test.
Yeah,
And you get an additional +10 because a sword is a defensive weapon.
And +10 for awesome knowledge, right?
Because you know how they think and how they move and how they attack. So +20 to your weapon skill to parry.
Which would make it 67. I rolled a 23.
Yep. You just as it swatted aside your sword, so you batter aside its claw. It loses more skin and carapace in the process.
Good.
And the one
Fucking
on
skills.
you, Aralud. Also one hit, but it's rolled a 100 and a 97 as its other two rolls.
Wait, is 100 epic fail?
Not by the rules, no. GMs may choose to interpret that if they wish.
Ah, okay. I thought we were going to get some crazy epic fail.
You're going to say
Not D&D.
some crazy epic fail is it gets its head stuck in the multi-melter barrel or something.
He trips. He stabs himself.
Does the Gene Stealer cut off one of its own arms?
In D&D, I once hit myself with my own axe, barbarian.
As it leaps into the attack, it pulls a groin muscle.
Ow!
Does that lower its initiative by 1?
With a wet splotch, a muscle in its groin balls up. Not literally. Okay,
The Justice of
so
the
you've been
Emperor
hit once. Aralud, what are you doing?
You
Can I parry?
You can parry?
Not quite. Hold on. He has to ready his melee weapon, unless you
No, I
already have
don't.
one drawn. Quick draw, as a free action, but not a reaction.
Why don't? I bashed it over the head with my multi-melter.
What do you have on multi-melter?
Yeah, there's no elegance to it. You just literally batter it aside.
Oh my god, you're a madman.
Oh, just
Yeah.
like Throne Crusade, man.
Or multi-melter. Alright.
No, I don't. Because my weapon skill is 45 and I rolled a 46.
Yeah, but you got Ultimate Knowledge, right?
Yeah, that applies
yeah.
here.
So you did pass that, just.
Just.
Okay, so you parry it, yeah?
Yeah.
With a sound like a dull temple bell being struck with a plank of wood, your multi-melter meets Gene Stealer face and smashes it aside. It's almost literally that noise. The sound of the chitin of its jaw slamming into the metal barrel of the multi-melter.
So this Gene Stealer runs at you, pulls a groin muscle, and then gets twatted in the face by a fucking out.
These rolls, man, that's what they do. Tell a story with them.
That's just unlucky.
So it's my turn now.
It is indeed, man.
Okay, you did say something about like other Gene Stealers like in pods. Wrestling,
They
is
are.
that going to be a threat?
They're tearing their way out. Actually, you can see their arms slicing through the membrane.
We'll get to them.
I was gonna say, because I have an incendiary grenade. I can
Kill
just
the
throw
brain!
Let's deal with the ones that are like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You kill the big one, you make them all retarded and have heart attacks.
Let's just kill the ones that are on us right now, shall we? Because we still get an extra round of shooting against the big one before it's in melee range.
I think I'm gonna throw an incendiary grenade at the Patriarch. So I can trust you guys to kill the rest of the Gene Stealers.
You're a madman. What the fuck is wrong with you? Oh god, why would you trust your brothers?
Do you have a bolter with hellfire rounds on?
No, I got an incendiary grenade.
What's your main weapon?
Like out right now?
Oh yeah, it's your melee weapons, isn't it?
Yeah. Can I not put grenades with that? Or...
You could charge the Brood Lord.
You know what?
No.
Keeping in mind, if you do that, we won't get that extra round of shooting before we're in melee with it.
Yeah.
And
I'll
that's-
just charge the Gene Stealer that's attacking the full health one.
Oh, thank fuck. I thought it was
Wait. Hold on.
Do I charge the Brood Lord?
Don't charge the Brood Lord.
Because, like, the only one who's gonna actually get a turn to shoot at the thing before it actually gets in melee range of us is Havel.
No, it'll be all
He's
of
not
us.
gonna shoot it.
Well,
No,
no,
it
because
won't
it
be
has
all of
higher
us.
initiative than
Yeah.
most of these.
Next turn it'll be like what 4 meters outside of melee range or something stupid like that, or 2 meters. It'll
That's
still be
what
just
they
out of
It
range.
moved
So the first
24
ones.
meters, didn't it?
How much meters can it move, Juicer? At full charge.
Full charge, it can move 24 meters.
Yeah.
So
it was
and
40
is
meters
that-
away.
It was 45 meters away. So it's
25
21
I
meters
beg your
away.
pardon. At full charge, it moves 12 meters.
12.
God.
It's much slower than the other Gene
Oh,
Stealers.
so this thing's
Sweet meters.
so this
That
thing-
changed everything.
wait. So it's 45 meters to start with.
Yep. Then it moves 24.
It moves 24.
It moves 21.
Wait, 24 then 21.
45 minus 24 is 21.
So it can move 24.
Mhm.
I thought you just said it when it moved 12.
Next
It can
round.
charge. It can charge 12. It can run 24 and it can sprint 36.
So next round it won't be able to go into melee.
Nope.
Oh god.
And will it be moving slower because its leg got hit at all?
That was cinematic. Mechanically, it has no actual impact.
So we will all still have a round of shooting against it before it's in melee.
If we kill these things,
So all we gotta
Maybe.
do is kill the Gene Stealers and then we can open up and call shot on the big bastard and just open up everything.
Just drop a Nova grenade.
There are no more Nova grenades.
No, I have
too late.
to.
It's too late.
He had photon flashes, and I have Nova grenades. Those would affect us, right?
Yeah.
No, because of your auto sensors.
No,
Aren't
Nova grenades
supposed to go
are,
through that?
Nova grenades go through that. They're made
do
for
they?
fighting against people in power armor and
Oh,
machines.
so you all need to make stamina rolls.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that though. That's a stupid idea.
The thing is,
I'm just gonna touch the one that's in combat.
it was like 40 meters away. Thing has blast 3. God damn.
Yeah, that would hit all of us, even if I threw it.
No. It would be just enough to hit them, but only affect us with photon flash effects, which is nothing.
No,
This guy-
yeah,
this
Nova
guy
grenades
weird
are blind power armor, but photon flash won't.
Because, like, within 30 meters, they were 40 meters away. Within 30 meters, that's a Nova grenade. The Nova grenade also has an additional effect of 20 meters from the initial blast of 30 meters. So its actual blast radius is 50 meters. We would get hit by that 20 meters.
Oh, I
And
could
with
throw
that-
it now then?
Well, if you throw it now, it will hit all of us.
Oh, okay. I'll just charge the one that's at full HP, the Gene Stealer.
Right on.
So that's what, plus 30 or plus 20?
If you do a charge,
Charge plus 10 plus 10. It's plus 10 for the charge, plus 10 for the Earth of Knowledge. Plus 20.
I believe it's just a single attack because it is a charge attack,
Mhm.
not the multiple attacks.
Do I get gang up bonus? Because
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, another 10 for the gang up.
so I pass it then with the 30. So I have 16. It is 69. I have 50, so that's like 80. So
Yeah.
And are you going for the one which is attacking Aralid, is it?
I'm going for the full health one.
Yeah, someone attacking Aralid.
Yeah.
I know that's the one in battle with Sebastian.
Yeah, wait, yeah, that one. That's
Yeah.
one. Do I hit it?
It's out of reactions as well.
I roll damage then?
If you hit, it can't parry, so roll your damage, man. Plus 17. 1d10 plus 17.
Ah. I'm gonna re-roll damage. I got a 1.
Cool.
Okay, it went critical. It was a 10.
Oh, roll your weapon skill again, man.
Do I get the bonuses for that one as well?
You do.
Then I passed that one as well.
You rolled the
Another
17.
d10. Can it match the knife?
One more
It's
knife.
never gonna match.
One more
No, it's a
knife.
5.
Nothing will ever match the knife. So 15 plus 17 is 32. Yep. Okay, you've killed it in one blow.
There you go. My honor is redeemed.
Its back is towards you, and Sebastian,
Yeah.
there is a blast of energy, a crackling scream, and all of a sudden, the Gene Stealer facing you, its chest is replaced with the blade of a power axe, which cleaves straight through its spine.
Okay.
Getting coated in goo is what he's trying to
With,
tell you.
yeah, getting your beautiful armor coated with goo.
The Codex of Studies does not support this action.
Also, was somebody masturbating there? I'm sure someone just did like a rapid fapping noise.
It's pretty hot. But no.
Okay. One Gene Stealer left for the moment, plus the Broodlord. Who's next? It's the Broodlord.
That was
Right.
Airledge you just went.
Fontis is next.
Oh, is it Fontis next?
Yeah.
Okay.
So where am I in relation to this, the Broodlord?
Or like
You
in
are
a tight
21
group.
meters away from it.
Alright, I'm gonna charge it.
We still get another attack, another round of shooting before it's in melee range. Pavel.
No. Alright, but I suck at shooting.
Well, there's still a Gene Stealer in melee range.
Oh, I'll charge the Gene Stealer then. I thought we'd killed all of them.
There's still one with 10.
There's still one on me.
I'm gonna charge that one then.
Okay.
I'm going to attack it with my bulkhead shears.
Ouch.
Still at plus 30?
Yep. Roll your attack.
Alright, hold on. I gotta double check the math on this one because it's telling me 7 degrees of success, but I don't know how that's possible.
Yeah, those rolling like that is always being sketched on Roll20. So we all just use the standard D100.
It does not parry.
Okay, so 55 plus 30 minus 1d100, which was 10.
But
That's how
I rolled a 0 on the D100. It's telling me.
7.
Oh, I rolled a
Oh,
7 on the
7.
D100. Okay.
There you go. Divided by 10. Okay. Yeah, he rolled a 7.
All right.
Okay. So yeah, that's gone right through. Damage from the bulkhead shears is unstoppable, I believe.
Yes.
Roll it.
Two D10 plus 13. Uh, 29. Penetrating pen 6.
29 pen 6. Okay. I believe that the Mechanicus term for what you've just done to that Gene Stealer is mechanically separated.
It's pretty hot.
It's hit with a device designed to cut through starship bulkheads. It is not that tough.
Snip.
snip, snip. The various chunks of the Gene Stealer are hurtled through your battle brothers' ranks as you slice it to ribbons with clashing snaps of your shears. Alien flesh meets inviolable metal and loses.
I feel a bit like Carrie, is it?
Sorry, say again, Mum?
I feel a bit like Carrie. Is it Carrie? Girl in the white dress.
Covered in blood.
Yeah.
Right. It is the Broodlord, I believe.
Yep.
Blinded by the photon flash and its legs seared by subatomic energies, the Broodlord springs like a spider and begins to climb up through the up along the dome, skittering towards that. You remember the portal in the roof? The iris is beginning to. The iris creaks and begins to slide open. However, the beast tries to flee, but it has to make a climbing test. And I believe the effect of the photon flash is its half skill. So the Nova Grenade is its half.
It only reduces his skill, his ballistic skill, and his weapon skill. Everything else is untested.
Right, okay.
So unchanged.
It passes. Fontis's bellow is true. The beast is starting to flee.
Oh shit.
You guys can shoot it off.
Who's next?
That would be me.
Fontis, you see this thing ascending along the curvature of this charnel dome like a grotesque, oversized arachnid. It has not reached the portal yet. What do you do?
Charge after it.
Well, I thought you charged the Gene Stealer.
Charge the Gene Stealer. But he just asked me what I'm gonna do, so.
It's my turn. I think when I spoke, he thought it was you speaking.
Oh, okay.
Too bad you can't just go up there and throw a melt at the portal. You have to fly to do that.
How high is it?
God.
How high is the,
This pit
is the
about-
Patriarch? Not the Irish, the Patriarch.
Hmm?
How high is the Patriarch?
The Patriarch stands about 12 feet tall.
I mean,
How
I'm
high
off the
is
ground
he
right
up on
now.
the
Like,
wall?
how high is it climbed?
It's climbed at its climbs at its walking pace, so it's 12 meters off the ground at the moment. And the entire room is about 30 meters high.
Oh, that's not so bad.
So how far away is it from me?
21 plus 12,
So it's ages away from me. What-
about 30 meters.
Is the other Gene Stealer dead?
There's one
Yes.
living Gene Stealer left, and a bunch about to rip their way out of their pods, I suppose you could call them.
I thought Fontes killed the last Gene Stealer.
Yeah.
I did kill the last one. There's
Oh, you killed the
there
last
are a
one.
bunch.
So
Yeah.
yeah, there is just the Broodlord
Okay.
for the moment.
Can't let him escape.
Like for crackers or something.
It's a big portal.
So it's 21 plus 12 away. That's so far. I guess I move forward at half of 6 in through the hole, and fire off a burst of the plasma gun.
Okay.
I have a maglock, so I got quick switch, whatever you call it.
Oh, you already have that to start with. That's
Oh.
only for pairing.
Oh, I have a maglock anyway, so. Oh.
La-di-da.
So how many? What's the most I can fire at this thing with half action? Because I've used half to move.
Semi-auto burst.
All right, let's do that.
Okay.
It's a plasma gun, I should mention.
So there's a semi-auto burst of 2 shots, I believe.
I rolled a 69, and my ballistic skill is 33, plus the 10 for Oath of Knowledge, and plus another 10 from the cold shot, I think, or something like that. No, we didn't even do that. No, you did do cold shot, didn't you? So I get what? Do I get an extra 20? I'm never getting up to 69 anyway. Yeah, I missed that.
You get an extra 20 plus
Extra 20?
Oath of Knowledge if he's making a shot, because the thing is targeted until Erlen moves. Then yeah, he gets plus 20 because it's a squad.
So 10 for the burst, 10 for the oath, 20 for the call. So plus 40. What's your ballistic skill?
33.
So 73.
Holy fuck! I landed it.
53 or less will land 2 hits.
I rolled a 69.
So you roll 1 hit.
Yes. At least I got a hit.
You did indeed. Would you like to re-roll that?
I should probably save my fate for when I'm about to die. So no, I'll just take that. I'll take my 69 and not risk not hitting anything.
Very well. Roll your damage, Theros.
My damage is D10 plus 9 energy. Okay. I rolled a 2, so plus 9, 11.
This penetration, it explodes in a flash of starfire across its back. It doesn't slow it down.
The penetration is 8.
It didn't actually roll enough to get through its toughness.
Even with 8 can. Sad times.
Do you want to re-roll your damage?
No, I'd best save that. I'd best save it. I've only got 2 fate points left.
Well, don't forget, killing this thing is priority. Can you afford to let it escape?
No, that's lost renown.
I have a quick
Escape?
question.
Like, will
Does
we...
it cost anything to leave squad mode?
What do you mean?
Like, does it take an action to do it?
I'll reroll my damage.
No, you simply declare you're dropping squad mode.
Okay.
I'll reroll my damage. I got a damage of 9.
You rolled a 9.
I did indeed roll.
Roll your ballistic skill again. Don't forget, this is an alien threat. You're a Deathwatch Marine. You critical honor a 9 or a 10.
The plasma gun is rage fire. I'm not sure if that helps at all.
That's just his pattern, man.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, but it is volatile, which means it doesn't have to re-roll for Righteous Fury.
It just goes automatic.
Yes, sir.
Praise the Emperor. Roll another D10 damage.
I made a roll, I got 2.
So 11 plus 9, 20. Straight through. Yep, that sears it and it screams.
Does the beast fall?
It does not fall.
Does it slow? Does it slow down?
No, not really.
Ah.
Oh man, Arvik, I think I know what you're gonna do. You're a goddamn crazy son of a bitch.
Do not let the beast
I hope
leave.
you know what I'm doing.
Fly, brother.
Yeah, what I have planned is, hope it
It's-
works.
It's Rojas, then Ojo.
Okay, so let's look at our actions again, because they're very important, especially the moves and the various amounts of moves you can make. Alright. There's a half move, which is, your standard agility bonus. There's your full move, which is double your agility bonus. And then there's the run. That makes you harder to get shot at by a malice of 20 ballistic skill, but it makes it easier for you to get hit with a melee item with a bonus to 20 weapon skill, and it triples your agility bonus as your movement in addition to your jump pack, which doubles that.
I have a question. I have a bionic heart, I think it is.
It gives you the sprint talent for free.
How does that affect my movement?
Yeah, it means you can use maximum move on the ground.
How does that tie up with his jump pack?
It doesn't.
I already got a plan for what I'm doing, because he said he's like, what, 33 meters away? Something like that.
21 plus 12. So 21 across and 12 up.
So my jump pack adds 2 times my...
Agility bonus.
Okay. That's all right. Okay. Well, it's not even my turn, so who's next, by the way?
I just want to... Yeah, it's Sebastian.
Sebastian, your foe has been cleaved.
And you are free. And you are also asleep.
Sebastian. Rojas.
Yes.
There we go.
Your turn, man.
Alright, so we got rid of that other Gene Stealer. Now we're just attacking that fucking Brood Lord. Oh wait. Fuck, I forget. Did the Brood Lord get away?
The Broodlord is currently 12 meters. 12 meters up a wall?
Can I shoot it with my plasma gun? How far is the wall?
Oh, you're well within range for a plasma gun, man.
Alright, go ahead.
Yeah, at the moment you're at plus 40 to your weapon, to your ballistic skill. Are you firing a single or a semi-auto burst? So it's plus 40 if you semi-auto.
Plus 30 if it's single.
I'll do a semi-auto.
Okay.
You can do that with a plasma gun?
Yeah.
We got some bullshit going on right now, Sebastian.
Old tabletop rules. Plasma guns used to be rapid fire too.
Oh, sorry, plasma pistol. My bad.
Plasma pistol. There you go.
I was like, wait a minute, this doesn't sound right.
It sounds right.
What kind
What's
of
the
plasma
range of
pistol?
the plasma pistol?
Should be 40 meters.
30
No.
meters base.
30 meters.
no!
then.
He's not in range, is he?
30 meters, that's short range, and then it's 30 to 60 for mid range, which is minus 10, and then 60 to 90 for long range, which is minus 20.
No, the thing's about 30 meters away. My plasma pistol has 30 meters, so it should still hit.
So, what do you find? Make your roll.
58.
Is that a semi-auto burst?
Single shot.
Yeah, no, single shot.
That's a hit. Roll your damage, brother. It is, by the way, this thing is not unwounded. The plasma, the melter, they have scored deep burning blasts into its carapace, but somehow, with beyond human toughness, it's still going.
Okay, 15.
That's enough to wound it. Not greatly. Like the other plasma blast, it splashes across its carapace, but it boils more flesh and more carapace cracks under the heat.
Does
But
it
it's
fall?
next. No, it does not fall.
Does it slow?
Do you have... It does not slow. This
Don't worry.
This
I get
thing
to go
has
before it
an
next round.
ungodly number of wounds.
Don't worry. I go before it next round. It's not gonna be standing.
Grapple it and pull it down here so we can fucking kick it in a circle.
Don't worry. It won't make it. I can assure you that. So is it potions or?
Well, how much? The pistol's only a half action, right?
Yep.
So you still got a half action to do something, Rojas.
Move up.
Rojas?
Yeah,
Your
I,
weapon.
I was. Yeah, no, I was just thinking the same thing. Yeah, you're right. If it's only a half action, then I should be able to. Yeah, no, take another shot then. If that was only a half.
You can only make one attack action around them.
Fuck.
Ah. You can still move up or
Move
take the
up.
half action to aim.
Wait a minute. Does the Broodlord have? Broodlords have tails, right?
Yeah.
Codex is okay. I'm thinking Codex Astartes may not support my actions, but fuck it. This thing needs to die.
The Codex Astartes does not support this tail.
The Codex Astartes will not support my action. I'm gonna be using this action to run up and grab the tail of the Broodlord.
I don't think the Codex Astartes costs something that specific, to be honest, man.
Don't think he is that close.
Yeah, you got. He's like what? 21 plus
12 meters above the
12.
ground, 21 meters away.
And my half action is 6 meters.
What's your agility bonus, Rojas? Come on, man. Please tell me. Son of a bitch.
Wait, agility bonus?
Yeah.
I don't have an agility bonus.
Hey, dude.
First number of agility.
Oh, 4.
It's only 4 meters, a half action. Ah!
Yeah, so you can move 4 meters.
Or you could take an aim.
Yeah, no, we'll take an aim for the next shot.
Keep in mind it may be out of your range next shot.
Ah, shit.
By the Emperor's name, Saint, stop being a fucking pessimist.
Ah! No, you need to aim.
I will say that you've done about half its health.
Holy shit.
Yeah, finally, some fucking positivity.
Chaplain, you're gonna have to move and break squad mode.
Fucking Saint. It's bullshit.
Well, not break squad mode, but stop the ability. Oh god. Oh, it's Havel. Never mind. I thought we lost someone. Wait, that is not Havel. What is wrong with my head? That's Fellhammer.
So, what are you doing, Rojas?
Yeah, no, just take aim.
Okay.
Oh god.
Come on, Hojo. Your turn.
Pissed. Well, I'm still in range. Ah,
No pressure,
Yeah.
Adagast. Come on, it's all on you.
I'm just gonna. You son of a bitch. Cracking rounds. I'm gonna do a semi-auto burst on that motherfucker.
Remember the knife, man. Remember the knife.
Yes, I remember the knife. But let's go over our bonuses, okay? Semi-auto
Okay.
is plus 10.
Mm-hmm.
Motion protector is plus 10.
Mm-hmm.
The Oath of Knowledge is plus 10.
Mm-hmm.
It's a called enemy, so that's plus 20.
Plus 50.
Plus 50. 257. So it has to be below 100.
That is correct.
Do you think you could roll under 100, Hojo?
No.
Actually, if I remember rightly, it fails on a 98 plus.
Good God.
That's
I
like
rolled
the,
a-
that's like the cutoff.
I rolled a 65.
That's 2 hits.
Oh, thank God.
Would that not be 3 hits still?
No.
If
It doesn't fire 3 shots, apparently.
Oh, okay.
Fires 2. And that's why I want the core rulebook one.
Are you using any fancy ammo?
He is. He's using Kraken Penetrator rounds, which means it's gone right through its carapace.
Okay.
And the Kraken's damage is what?
The Kraken doesn't increase any damage, but it does increase its range by 50%.
So it's still tearing plus 9, yeah?
Tearing plus 9.
Okay, so roll 2d10 and pick the highest for both shots. Add 9 to the dice you pick.
Okay. So one of them's 18. The other
Okay.
one will be 17.
What were the dice which turned up in both of them?
In the first one, both were 9. The second one of them was 3, and the other one was 8.
Okay, those 9s both have a chance to go critical. Roll your ballistic skill, please.
Wait, why?
9 and 10 critical for you, man. You're a Deathwatch Marine fighting
No.
in foe.
Why re-roll? Whatever. It has to be below 100. What's the point?
Because you still fail on a 98 plus.
Oh, okay. I rolled an 89. You butt.
That's a pass. Right. Okay. Roll 2d10 again.
2d10?
Well, you have to check for both of them.
2 and a 1.
2 and a 1. That's terrible.
That is pretty
Assume you'll take the 2.
I don't know. Yeah, I'll take this.
That's another 8 wounds from that one. It's 5 wounds from this. There's another 13 wounds. Yeah, you're blowing chunks out of it as it's climbing. It's the first shot actually blows it enough that for a moment it's only hanging on with one claw. It's screaming, and as the portal is grinding open above it, you can hear human shrieks of terror, pain, and horror and rage as well. Mostly human. As the human host of the Borealis Council realize that the Broodlord is under attack.
Oh, they're still there.
It does slow this time, right?
Oh yeah.
And does it fall?
It does not fall.
It does not fall!
Calm down, Saint.
Still have a multi-melt though, so I doubt it'll live, or it'll stay up after that.
Yeah, Chaplain, you're gonna have to wear the balls on your head today. You're gonna have to stop being the center. Oh wait, actually, does he? We were all able to shoot him through the hole.
Yeah, he doesn't have to move. He can still stay still and reach it if he's got 60 meters on his multi-melter.
Oh, you just fucking kill him if you wanted to. I know you like contemplating
it's hanging
about
by
it.
one arm.
I can melt it.
That's the question. Should I melt the arm off or just hit it so?
It's a cone, isn't it? So can't you just hit the whole damn thing?
It's actually it's more like an exploding beam, really, from what I understand.
Yeah. Flame
What are
Rush
my
comes.
bonuses again?
Yeah, I would say take its arm.
Your bonuses are plus 20 because you are the center and you have called the enemy. You get the bonus to that too. Plus 10 because of the Oath of Knowledge. And that's the only bonus I know you got right off the bat.
Okay, so that's plus 30. And if I call out an arm, that will make it minus 20.
Yeah, so then you would just have the bonus of the Oath of Knowledge.
That's plus 10. My weapon ballistic skill is 46. So no, let's just hit it. Not call out the arm.
Are you going to call out the arm?
No, just hit it. I rolled a 36.
That's a hit. Roll your damage, brother.
To the 10 plus 16. 12. 7 and a 4, 11 plus
16.
16 is
27.
27.
That's another 15 wounds. Oh, so close. Do you want to reroll your damage?
Yeah, let's do it. A 10 and a 4.
Oh. Ballistic skill test, man.
It's fucking coming over here. Calm down.
What's that?
A crit from a melter.
Crit from a melter, man.
I rolled an 84.
Is that enough to go critical?
not at plus 30, then I've got 70.
Do you have any more
Is it not
fate
plus
points
40?
left to reroll?
Is it not plus 40?
I don't have plus.
Were the bonuses not plus 40 all in all? Did we not work out?
Plus 10, I think, for the multi-melter, because the 20 for calling cancelled out for the call on the arm.
No, no, no.
No, he didn't call for the arm. He just went. He decided just to hit.
Oh, okay. So it's plus 30 it'll be for you.
Yeah, no, it doesn't go critical.
Do you have any points left that you want to spend to reroll it?
I had 2 fate points burned, 1. Oh no, it reset after each session, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I still have to. How many ones did I have left? I don't know.
Save one for saving your bacon if you ever get killed.
Burn another fate point. The 61. So now it goes critical.
That's gone critical. Roll another d10, man.
1d10 or both?
1d10.
1. A 4.
4. So 14 plus 4 is 18. Plus 16 is 34. Minus 12 is 22.
And then is that including the 10 as well?
Yeah,
Oh my
10 plus 4.
It's got 4 wounds left.
Dear guard artifact.
Right. The multi-melter screeches as it fires, and not only the Broodlord glows brilliantly from the blast of superheated thermal energy, but the entire metal structure that it's clinging to superheats and sublimates in the blink of an eye. The blast is deafening. The boiled rubble and great ropes of molten metal clap to the charnel-coated floor, along with the Broodlord, as the entire chunk of the dome comes crashing down.
And this
What it,
fellow
was,
wretch.
what it was climbing could not survive the impact of the multi-melter. Who's next?
That would be me, right? Because we.
Yeah.
Okay. So it drops down then? It's falling?
Yeah, it's on the floor right now.
Horribly burned, the Broodlord thrashes and screams. They are piercing shrieks that would deafen a human being. And they are shrieks not only of blind agony, but also of basically the crushing imminence of oblivion.
So it's 21 meters out?
It's 21 meters right now, in the middle of a boiling sea of raining metal and falling rubble.
So my jump pack gives me double my agility bonus for a charge? Or what?
Yeah, it's double. If you were doing a charge, it'd still be 8, even if doubled. That's like a half move, but limited to 4.
Okay, I'm gonna drop out of squad mode then. And I'm going to use the ability the ability I get for being a assault marine called the Wings of Angels.
Oh yeah.
Which I can take a challenging +0 pilot test to add 20 meters to the movement rate of my jump pack. And if I do damage on the charge, I add a D5 to it. So I'm gonna do that.
That's pretty epic, man. So you're soaring on the wings of angels through raining metal into a boiling sea of molten heat to deal the death blow to the enemy of an entire world.
That's the plan. I have to pass the test first, though. So.
Yeah, it always comes down to the roll, doesn't it?
What
Told you,
is
stop
the-
jinxing it.
What's the?
I'm not jinxing shit. I'm fucking wanking.
Be right back, guys. Just getting some water.
You too? Golly.
Do you know what the piloting test is based off of?
I believe it's agility. Wait, that doesn't make sense. Oh, excuse me, I'm retarded.
Pilot is
Also have-
agility.
Oh, it is? Oh shit, it is.
I mean, I have pilot personal trained to advanced, so does that give me bonuses?
No. Advanced training is basically your stats way of saying you will not receive any penalties for doing something like that because you actually know what you're doing. Basic is penalties. Advanced is you know what you're doing. Advanced plus 10 is a bonus. Advanced plus 20, also a bonus.
So it's agility then.
hmm
Is that plus power armor or without it?
That's a good question. Juicy! Juicy!
What am I doing?
He's making an agility test. Does he count for bonuses his power armor gives
Does
us?
his power armor give him a bonus to his agility?
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
Yeah,
Alright,
I got a
cool.
50-50 then. Ah! 14.
Nice.
Alright.
So I charge it.
You do. Soaring on the roaring wings of angels, you hurtle at the screaming broodlord. As you descend upon it, the Emperor's wrath made manifest. The gene stealers tearing their way out the pods. Their shrieks and screams mimic the panic of their fallen master.
So I then rolled a hit, correct?
Don't forget it is a charge, so plus 10.
Have some epic music for this moment, and ignore the picture.
And then do I get the oath of knowledge as well? So plus 20.
Plus 20. And the creature is still marked. Although
I'm not
you're
in squad
affected.
mode though.
Yeah, you're not in
So I
squad.
don't get that. So it's just plus 20.
That's right. It's just plus 20.
Okay, I got 70. That should be easy. Okay, I got it.
Roll the 54.
Yeah, and I have 50 plus the 20. 70. So I passed. Does he have any reactions, Juicy?
It has none. One.
Okay, so I rolled the damage then?
Roll. Have you hit?
Yes.
Roll your damage. As you hurtle down upon it, the hammer of wrath, it staggers upright and swings towards you, bearing its claws, still coated head to foot in molten metal.
So I did 21. And then I added D5 to that because of the Wings of Angels. So I did 23.
23 damage.
23. Oh, yeah, so yeah.
23 damage. Do you want to describe how you kill it?
I guess just
Give us a description, man.
jumps into the air, screaming at her, falling to the molten metal, landing on top of the beast, plunging a great blow straight into its brain, or its head, sinking it deeper.
The blow cleaves its skull in half, slicing straight down through its cranium and exploding out the bottom of its jaw. A great gout of steam rises as the molten metal evaporates the matter within, and the decapitated beast crashes back to the molten sea with one final psychic death scream blasting out. As it does so, the gene stealers in the pod seem to go into convulsion, screaming and thrashing as they fall in ropey strands of mucus and shredded chitin. Joining their shrieks and screams is a cacophony of utter despair from above. through the open portal as the death of the Broodlord rips through the human host of House Borellis. The alien are momentarily helpless. Kill team, you have a free action to describe. What do you do?
What's left of the beast?
It's
Mush.
sliced, its decapitated torso, burning amongst a sea of molten metal, and stood on top of it, jet still glowing and Power X blazing with energy, is Arvek.
You said there's the hole above had the council in it, right?
It does, and by the sound of it, they have been caught in the psychic backlash of the Broodlord's death.
Fucking exploded.
Would it be possible to throw an incendiary grenade up there?
They're
It would
fucking
indeed.
they're goo on the floor right now.
Yeah, burn the
Actually,
goo.
several of them have already been killed by the psychic shock. The screams you hear are from the survivors.
We need to make sure our duty is done, brothers. In regards to these gene stealers that are left in the pod, I assume even though they're feral, they're still at a risk at this point.
They are. If they recover, they will be utterly berserk.
Can we clean up this room real quick before we head out?
You can. You don't need to make any combat rolls. For several rounds, they're effectively helpless. They're just thrashing and squirming around and clawing. And you can imagine they're tearing up everything around them, but they're effectively helpless targets.
Theros casually walks up to one of them and just runs his force sword directly through its chest, tears up through its shoulder.
Psyker. Do not be so haste. The sentimental one. When will this happen again for someone like him? Let him revel in his glory.
You have his glory, but kill these parasites.
And I thought you sentimental as well.
Arvik says that we must purge these gene stealers. And Arvik begins to burn them with his flamethrower, the pods and such.
The humans had an old saying back on Old Terra. Hans gets the flaming vapor.
Oh wow. You have gone full nuts. Radagast loads his metal storm rounds and fires wildly around the room.
Alien
Almost-
flesh, alien
Almost
bone,
unnamed.
shreds under the assault, splattering in all directions, joining the ragged, pitiful human remains that smear this chamber of death. Down in the city, at one of the barricades in the civil war raging, the Brueris lines suddenly falter. Seizing the moment, unsure of why, but not hesitating to take advantage of it, partisan insurgents and their commanding officers surge through the Bruelis barricades, shotguns clapping with thunder, autoguns blasting.
Yes.
Above, in the Bruelis chamber, the survivors are racked in the grips of unutterable despair, the very head of their brood decapitated. Officers in gilded finery, elderly hybrids in the robes of high office, claw at their own eyes and skin, smash their heads against the wall. Others lie dead. Most of the women pregnant, their bellies webbed with veins, distended by the horrors that they carry within. And all around them is the debased finery of imperial art, imperial high culture, and imperial glory, twisted by the alien.
I'm assuming we'll have to get up there to make sure we finish our job, right?
You can describe that. You're Astartes. Getting up there will not be difficult.
Arvik uses his jump pack to quickly reach up top and
Fuck that.
observe, I guess.
I want to stay on the ground.
Theros does the old-fashioned way, I guess. Digs his fists, and, like, shapes his hand like claws, and digs into the wall, breaching through the metal with deep screeching sounds, I guess, and hauling himself up towards the iris.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but don't the Blood Angels librarians have a psychic technique to...
Yeah, not this one.
Rank 3. Sorry, man. Not having
Oh, you poor little noob, you.
I would have jammed at that thing climbing at the wall if I had wings of sanguineous, but alas.
Look, Sebastian, marvel at this new psychic.
I still want to know where that automaton is.
Oh, it's out there and it's still unaffected.
I still want it downed.
Well, if you want to be a little bit more morally gray, we've already done our objective and can just leave.
We have to ensure the elders are all gone.
Fair enough.
The council?
Council.
Yeah.
The last thing that Constantine Bruelis, the High Patriarch of the former House Bruelis, sees in between the blood webbing his fingers and the shrieking blackness consuming his very soul in his head. The last thing he sees through this crushing despair, rising from the portal through which sacrifices and sustenance were tossed to the great Father below, is a blackened angel with eyes of burning crimson and a fluttering banner of a black skull. It is death.
I guess that'd be both Arvik and Theros, since no one else really did anything to get up there.
So, guys, pulling himself out of the hole, screeching forward through psychic present. The foreboding approach of the Emperor's judgment.
Those hybrids who can still move try to crawl away from your wake, almost like the prow of a ship carving through the ocean. They are washed aside by the horror of the psychic power which wreathes you. Many of them are already dead. Some have committed suicide. Some have been killed through sheer psychic trauma. But Constantine Bruelis, on his knees, stares up through bloody eyes, his slack mouth working noiselessly at the angel of death towering above him. He is far gone as a hybrid. His human purity lost to the taint of the alien.
Throw him down the hole! Sacrifice him to the obsidian skulls!
The bulkhead shears of obsidian skulls.
Theros grabs him by the throat, pulling him close so you can see his own reflections in the green visors of the jet black helm. Versus his big fingers pushing under the skin and then flinging it without releasing his fist, so the skin stretches and snaps as he hurtles down through the iris to the obsidian skulls.
His throat torn out, a shrieking gurgle exploding from his lungs. The former patriarch of House Bruelis tumbles into the pit to which so many innocents were sacrificed, and into the molten sea of his former god.
To await the judgment of the Emperor's fury waiting for him below.
Awaiting judgment of the obsidian skulls.
Anything he gets is far too good compared to the suffering he's caused to the Imperial citizens of this hive.
countless times over.
Tharos is walking away from the iris and just carving through crowd, felling one after another of the freaking out hybrid.
It's not even a slaughter. Because implying slaughter implies that there might have been resistance. This is butchery or cleansing.
Oh, this is labor work. I'm just swinging nonchalant once, twice.
Purge the
3 times.
impure.
Great
Stabbing
arcs of
murder.
tainted blood splatter up the walls as you deal the Emperor's justice.
Not justice, brother. Wrath. Wrath of the Emperor.
He's absolutely right. For to imply justice would imply that these things were still human. They are not. And their works are undone.
You guys have a
Just-
gasping council member down there. Someone please execute that guy in glorious fashion.
His fear is amusing, and his weakness is infinite. Very well.
He actually, even if there is no intervention, he expires in short order, still clawing at the gaping, ragged red hole where his throat was, amidst a boiling, smoking sea of boiled rubble.
Still alive down there?
Oh, a little bit. Just about choking down on his own blood.
Yeah, don't let him choke out. Finish him in some kind of.
I'm gonna rip his head off. Claim his head as a trophy.
I'm going to hold him up. Radagast holds up the Elder Councilman as Fontis. Go on.
Places his left hand over his head and pulls upward.
Teamwork, brothers.
You
Gain
gain.
point of.
Sorry, man, go on.
Go on, Fontis.
I rip his head off and I scream my chapter's battle cry, which is literally "Ah!"
It can actually be far more epic than that because it's a primal scream of pure rage.
Reflecting my heritage from Cretaceous.
That bellowing roar of primal hatred echoes through the outer spire of House Borealis as beyond the great chamber doors of the Sanctum Inviolate, the remaining house guard, the remaining elite guard of the council have been laid low and thrown into utter disorientation by the psychic shockwave. The cleansing begins.
Tharos slowly swings faster and faster.
Speaking of cleansing, those women that were pregnant with those hybrids, are they tainted?
Beyond human. Their veins are visible through their skin, almost emaciated, but the bellies are swollen too large to be carrying something human. You can almost see the foul chitinous thing coiled in the womb through their skin. And yet, in a grotesque parody of human nurturing, they are affected, they are almost coddled in how they are dressed, protected and pampered, cushioned seats, servants on hand. This is what they had. The younglings must be protected, your training tells you. The brood will always care for its young, no matter how foul and debased.
From an iris, there's a crack of sound as a psychic flame tears through the crowd.
I'm gonna stalk through the halls, Space Hulk style. Just eliminate everything I come in contact with.
I'll start burning down whoever I can.
The kill team emerge. Am I right to do a description of the cleansing, guys?
Yeah.
Go
Now
ahead.
that I think about it, I do have a Voxcaster. Maybe I should tell the guard that they could just kind of walk in, or Well, I know that you already are, but fuck it. Go ahead.
I'm assuming that they're mopping up whatever resistance they have.
The kill team emerges from the doors of the council chamber, weapons blazing, cutting down the unresisting hybrids where they stand. The Gulgrex Ore Automatae fall wreathed in flames. As the cleansing of the spire begins, transports deploy from the inquisitorial ships orbiting above, plunging through the atmosphere wreathed in flame, disgorging squads of stormtroopers into the streets below to finish off the last of the Bruelis resistance. The city burns. Great ships in the acid docks of the Hive Primus burn, listing, sabotaged. Entire hab blocks burn. There is blood washing the streets. As the civil war rages, cleansings are enacted outside the immediate view of the populace. But through the slaughter, it is not simply man versus man. A far more ruthless hand expunging from the streets the very taint of the alien, which the populace, through the machinations of Inquisitor Callista Abharis, her acolytes, and her warriors, the mighty knights of the Deathwatch, remain ignorant. Brothers, there is one final roll to be made.
Why?
Oh, really?
The apothecary tending to the Inquisitor has a skill and total bonuses of 75 Medicaid, minus 30. One of you elect one of your number to make the roll for the Inquisitor's fate.
I volunteer, Sergeant.
Well, there you go.
Very well.
40% chance to extract the organ. 40 or less.
All right, D100?
D100.
66.
Yes! I mean,
Amidst the chaos that grips
Is
the
this
streets,
pointable?
one Marine may burn one fate point to affect a reroll. Only one.
I sure as hell am not doing that.
I'll do so.
You sentimental fool! She is the chain that binds us all! And you want her alive?
She is an Inquisitor. For now, at least.
She is a mass murderer like you and I are.
40%. Make that
Yet
roll.
she serves the Golden Throne.
The throne does not save anymore. You should know that.
Do not test me again, Marine Malevolent.
As
Any
you
who
test
are the
me
agents of the Golden Throne must be of utmost priority. Much of like the Primarchs and the Codex Astartes.
Your priorities are flawed and our fathers are not around. Their ways have removed them, and we can do better.
How can we be better than the very things that the Emperor created?
By being like the Emperor himself.
Enough of your heresy.
I mean,
Very
Emperor would
well.
probably save.
The Emperor would do everything he could to save him, but that's not what happened. You failed the first roll. That fate could be done. Like, that fate point, you're not just rolling for her. You should be rolling as the Emperor for everyone else. Or putting your attention on her. You're focusing on someone
fate
else.
point.
Make that roll, man.
It's all about
85.
God.
Fuck.
God damn it.
It was too late for Inquisitor Abtaris. At her instruction, with the last of her strength remaining, she orders her own execution, and Sergeant Mattel of the Tiger's Argent, without hesitation, raises his bolter and ends the Inquisitor's life.
I guess they failed their mission.
Well, I guess I won't be getting a tabard, but Theros takes out his combat knife,
There's a reason I stabbed the thing in the head.
crashes over
No, this
the
is
corpse of the
happening.
Inquisitor,
This is
and
happening
peels
separate
some
from your
skin
team.
away.
Chris.
from her back. Because I'm
No,
assuming her
this-
face is gone.
This is happening away from your team.
Oh no!
Yeah,
Blood,
just let it.
blood splatters from the apothecarian gurney, and Mattel lowers his smoking bolt pistol as the shell clatters to the ground. One more sacrifice in the eternal war against the mutant, the alien, the witch.
Sorry, Sergeant Matteo, come in, please. Over.
Get the fuck away from my boxcaster.
This is gonna be an odd one, but if you do me a
Yeah,
complete solid,
Shut the fuck up.
Wanna save the face,
Disgusting.
please?
Get out of here.
Get out of here.
I think that's heresy.
I think your obsession with skin cloaks is bordering on heresy.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
get
get-
fucking tabard, man.
Go.
This guy's got
Go
more
back
skin
to the
close than
dropship.
5 years
You
above.
This
fuck-
is coming from a man carrying a fucking head. you,
Hey.
you shut your face.
You can have a grizzly trophy, but a cloak is a different thing.
You're gonna be using
Brothers.
You're gonna be using the face on that head.
You
Am I
know
right to
what?
do Closing descriptions.
Of course.
Sorry, you can continue to talk if you'd rather me do the description after you
gonna
argue.
fucking-
Oh no, we got plenty of time to talk once we're
I'm
back
going-
on the barge.
To drag this witch back to the dropship by the ear if he keeps saying this heretical shit.
You talking about heretical shit? There's no heretical shit here.
You're coming with me, young man.
We
I'm
claim
trying to take
trophies.
the face off of an Inquisitor.
I wasn't
You're
gonna
gonna-
take the face off an Inquisitor. I'm not there to do so. If I were there to do so, I imagine the face would be gone. I was gonna take the intact, undamaged skin from the back.
Still, taking an Inquisitor's skin. It's a bit heretical.
No, it's not. Right now, my left gauntlet has 3 faces wrapped around it, held on by my hand gripping to my sword. I was hoping to carry a tabard from the beast on my arm and pauldron until I got back, but we fried it. It got fucked. So, and it wasn't my kill.
Those are like enemies. This is an Inquisitor.
Yeah.
Wearing skin for the sake of wearing skin is very Slaneshi, and I'm very
It's
concerned.
not wearing skin for the sake of wearing skin. They would be blessed
believe we're
appropriately
discussing-
by the Emperor and the tech priests themselves. I would go through all formal protocol and don't act like it's something unusual.
Sebastian,
Mr. Shrunken
throw the
Head.
book at him. Throw the fucking book at him.
Hey, I'm willing to bet. Is it red scorpions have their own fucked up little rituals that are not right on the surface as well?
Yeah,
all
some-
of our
dirty,
heraldries
dirty.
carry some archaic, ritualistic.
They have
Approach.
Forge World-sized ovens, but that's different.
Judge not lest you be judged.
I am just all the time, because I say stupid shit that you guys don't like all the time. That's my job. You're sitting in the corner of the dropship
For a week.
a whole
And
week.
For a
Take a-
week, you cleanse the spire
Oh.
from peak to base. Joined once the clouds of lethal chemical weapon dissipate by scions of the Tempestus Militarum seconded to the Inquisition. The city continues to burn.
No,
In the
not
after-
a week.
In the aftermath of the Civil War, the Borellis Spire is sealed for a decade will servitors incant endless rituals of purification and wards against blasphemy endlessly upon its walls like the scroll of a madman wrought in binary cant. With the sealing comes the pogroms, as the Inquisition leaves no stone unturned and no potential for genetic contamination. Thousands die in the following purges. Your duty to the God Emperor is wrought in blood and fire upon the surface of Octavian, as the taint of the alien is expunged like a canker being burned from a wound. And although the price the Inquisition paid for this victory was heavy, it would pay it 1,000 times more. It will pay it 1,000 times more, and that again, for the war against the alien never ends. And you are the blade that stands against the dark. Your mission is a success, brothers.
Victory immortal, and we didn't even need extraction.
You're steel. We are doom. We are Steely Doom.
Mission
Now do we-
success.
Now we virus bomb the planet.
Sorry for the slightly overly florid description at the end there.
No, that was the idea.
Alright, that was a good round, guys. I gotta go.
Thank you very much.
See you, Rojas.
What do we get?
So, Watch Captain, why is it this spire is being cleansed? Why is it allowed to remain?
The spire will, well, you know, the spire must continue to function as a defense redoubt. But it will never again be inhabited. In the next century, after the cleansing, the spire is allowed to fall almost into ruin, becoming an extension of the hive spire, sheathed in void shield, and ancient pitted crenellated guns staring at the sky, surrounded by the caved-in ruins, collapsed halls, pitted metal of the tower, open to the chemical elements, whistling wind and the burning green sun. It is a damned place, and those nobles who witnessed from afar what transpired that dread night upon the spire of House Borellis and their descendants never speak of it again. To the Mechanicus, to the servants of the machine god that maintain the hive, it is simply a numerical designation for a defense point. To everyone else in the upper spire, it no longer exists, and it is left to rot.
All right.
Well, I can very much assure that Theros went straight to the armory, very concerned with the tech priest there, asking him a barrage of questions about his armor's well-being.
Oh my fucking god. I know where you're going with this. If we had a cone of shame, you'd be wearing it right now.
Come of shame. I am making sure my armor is alright. You're understanding how fucked my armor got in this mission. It's like
All of your armor has taken battle damage.
like my chest, I remember went into my black carapace. The front of it is pretty much some slices of ceramite filled up with repair paste-esque polyfiller. Like, my armor needs some serious love and attention right now.
Ooh, that's 2 weeks. That's 2 days of bed rest. You remember what that is, huh, Psyker? Bed rest?
I may also slip them the 3 faces I have and tell them to begin blessing them, and apologize that I didn't bring enough material, but assure them that if the Emperor sees fit, I will bring them enough.
The alien flesh, for it is no longer human, it is alien. The alien flesh is taken, prepared with biological solvents, and formed using a biolathe into a tabard for your armor. It is blessed and purified. And curses are cast upon it as well. Damnation for the alien.
It may be the equivalent of a miniskirt as far as tabards go at the moment. It may not be much of a tabard there, but soon this shall be a tabard worthy carrying into battle. But for now, it will
It is
remain
formed.
with
It
attack
is
effect
formed into a. I can picture it formed into almost like a studded leather, almost like an honorific that carried from your belt or your pauldron.
Yeah, this would work. Almost no resemblance to it ever having been a fate,
No,
apart from
the
the sort of smear of one, perhaps. The
process is
divot
performed
between
on it.
an eye and a nose, that sort of little in dimple. One of those.
Not even that. The process is performed upon it in the biologium, and its time spent in the biolathe basically render it into it's virtually indistinguishable from discolored leather, cracked and crenellated.
But the main concern is my armor. I'm just gonna sit with those guys for a little bit.
All of your armor suits are retired to their separate maintenance sepulchres and attended to by the tech marines and the tech menials of the Deathwatch. I say menial, they're not menials, I forget the word, what it is. Tech rights, I beg your pardon. The tech rights of the Deathwatch, surrounded in their respective gantries by various arms and appendages, spraying sparks, wafting sensors of sweet-smelling smoke, and endless binaric incantations to ensure their purity and prevent corruption by their contact with the alien.
Is one's weapon his personal weapon, or does it go back to the armory? So, what I mean is, if I get a heavy bolter, is it always the same heavy bolter I get, or?
You can always take it with the panoply ability, but yes, effectively, if you requisition a heavy bolter, you can state that it's one you have used before, that it is your heavy bolter. I have no problem with that. But all your weapons are returned to the armory for maintenance.
But wait. So my force sword comes as standard equipment. That's my sword, right? No one else is using my sword.
That is just your sword.
No one's using my sword, right? Just when I hear the words, no one's using your sword.
I use your sword to
You
wank.
get the
There's
fuck
nothing
away
you
from
can
my
do about
sword,
it.
you fucking malevolent prick!
I am open and no response.
This is not more than
It's like, what's it Radagast says, it's I've no idea what's happened to your sword. Have you seen my new bayonet, by the way?
Very nifty. Very long. To keep anyone away, and my hands full.
Right, guys?
That's an awful nice face you got there, malevolent.
It's awful nice toy you've given me.
Rewards. Okay, before we get into this, Juicer.
Hello?
Now, I just want to remind you once again that Hojo is fine being rewarded for actions he's done. Am I correct, Hojo?
Maybe. It depends on what you're about to say next.
just tell the truth. That's all you got to say. Is
I
this?
told you, motherfucker.
I just want to remind him that it's okay. I'll say what it is. So it's Hojo, is the following statement true or false? You don't like being given a bunch of stuff for free at the start of a mission. You like to earn what your rewards you get, so you don't mind getting rewards as long as you earn it. Is that true or false?
Yeah, that's true, but you gotta remember, you already got a fucking kilt out of this, made out of people's faces.
Yeah, that's fine. That's just for
Now,
fluff.
now just
No.
give it stats.
No, we got a no. That's just
I just
that's
showed
just
to a
for
Grey
fluff.
Knight.
It's just for fluff. Then we've got we completed one secret objective, which was the burning of the relic room. I can't remember what it was called.
Destruction of the relic room. You engage the enemy wherever you found them, so that's your secondary objective complete. You completed the primary objective of eliminating House Borellis, and you completed the priority primary objective of destroying the Broodlord, thus ending the Borellis strange threat to Octavian 4.
This is by far, I'm sure, our longest mission. And our most kills. What do you think is a fair reward for our excellent service to the Emperor this evening, Juicer?
10 corruption points. Silent straight.
Like saying you're a dreadnought. That is
That is not a reward. That is a curse. Shut your face, Salamander.
Okay.
Your legs are there.
500 experience points for the secondary objective. 500 experience points for the secret objective. 750 experience points for the elimination of House Borellis. And 1,000 experience points for the priority elimination of the Broodlord.
2,750. I will fucking take it. Nice.
Look now.
Oh, yeah,
That's
how much
quite a
renown
bit.
I got?
You get one renown for the secondary objective, one renown for the secret objective, and you receive 2 renown apiece for the primary objective and the priority primary objective. So 2, 4, 5, 6 renown.
All right.
And just to remember, from the Death Ocean, I've got a note here saying we got 4 renown for Death Ocean because I haven't really done anything with that. No,
It's a note.
it was an honor mark we got for Death Ocean of 4 renown.
All right, hold on. So 500 for secondary, 500 for secret, 750 for.
So, 750 for the primary and 1,000 for the priority.
So we got 2,750.
And 1,000 for what?
Killing not just killing the Broodlord, but placing the Broodlord's death as your priority. For that, you got 1,000 instead of 750.
Oh, so if we had went to go for the battle servitor first, we wouldn't have got that extra little bit.
That's right, you'd have got 750.
Ooh,
Sneaky. Space Marines.
Well, no,
I didn't even spend
it's-
on my last experience.
it's not penalising you for what you did. It's rewarding you for what you came up with. You came up with a way to get to the Broodlord that was creative, that, put you at risk, and you made it a priority. So you wouldn't have missed out on that 250. I'm choosing to increase the reward. If you know what I
How
mean.
much XP do you need for rank 2?
Oh shit!
What's wrong?
We might have hit rank 2.
I don't think
Fuck
we're,
yeah.
I don't think we're gonna hit rank 2.
Hold on.
Because there's some really badass shit in rank 2.
Calm down, sentimental one. Rank 2 starts at 17,000 experience.
Yeah, before this mission, I'm pretty sure we had like 14,500.
I'll get the numbers.
Yeah, we did, because the first mission we got 750, second mission we got 750, and we
Kitty.
started with,
Fucking that stupid.
you start with, what is it, 12,000 with a 1,000 to spare, so it brings you up to 13,000.
Yeah, we have
14,500 from the first 2 missions, and now we got an extra 2,750, so 14, 15, 16. Oh, we're on 17. Wait, 2,750. 17,250 we're on. How much for rank 2?
Wait a moment. My fucking neck is
17,000, I believe.
We're 250 above rank 2.
Hell
We're
yeah.
rank 2.
already hit it.
Holy fuck, we're rank 2.
You also have a grand total of renown, I believe, of 15, including your very first mission. 5 plus 4 plus 6.
Who else was on the
You
first
like-
mission?
I wasn't on the first one.
That
Yeah, it was just me, Hojo, and Havel.
It was. So, however, I don't mind bringing people up to the same level, assuming that they did their own missions off camera, as it were, as long as everyone agrees.
Wait, so we got 5 for the first mission?
You got 5 because you saved an entire world and they never knew about it.
Oh, okay. And then 4 for...
4 for recovering the critical data from the sunken archive of the Flogus Sea.
And then 6 from...
You would have got 2 from the archive mission, but you took the Oath of Glory. So that bumped, remember it doubled it, so it bumped up from 2 to 4. And you've just got 6 now for your efforts in the Borellis Spire.
Which brings up to 15 renown.
15.
At the beginning, I looked out for you fuckers.
And what do you require to become, is it respected?
I'm gonna figure out right now. Right now.
30.
You need 20. 20 to be respected.
Is it 20?
Well, not far off of it.
You're getting there.
One more. We can get some cool toys.
Oh, you're gonna start seeing some stupid shit once we get to respected.
Yeah.
Like
Underhand.
arcane.
So you're still rookies in terms of respect.
Just you wait, fuckers. Just you wait.
Gives you an idea of what the Deathwatch expects of its Marines.
Where do you put your
Arcane
renown
weapon.
on our sheet?
Yeah, I'm just looking for that as well. Where's renown on the Roll20 character sheet?
I have no clue. I was gonna say on paper it's above experience, but
And the one that you provide in the rulebook, it should be the bottom right. Right above your experience.
It's the one on Roll20 I was looking for.
Roll 20 should not have one if I'm not mistaken.
Doesn't have one.
okay, I already know what talents, or a lot of the talents I'm gonna get, so this would be really easy.
Oh, I found the cohesion though. It's on the 5th tab in roll 20.
Yeah, it's no renown.
Yeah, I don't believe Renown is here. That's okay.
So what's our total XP rate? Or yeah, renown.